everyone, it's Thursday, and that means another session of the round table has begun. I am MasakoX, and I am joined by Havrock.
Hello.
And unfortunately, Sophie's still feeling under the weather this week. And again, it's not that particular ailment that's going around the place lately. So physically, she's okay, but you know, she won't be able to make it for this one, so we still send her best wishes regardless.
And hopefully she'll join us next week.
Yeah, exactly.
So send some, warm vibes for Sophie.
Yes, absolutely.
She really appreciates your guys' love and support.
Definitely. But I do have some good news for those of you who didn't see my community post. The ranch plush has been fulfilled. Basically, the factory got in touch with us yesterday, and as an act of goodwill, based on the orders that we had, they will make the plush. So, those of you who did make an order and ordered a ranch plush, you will get it. So, she is coming to your home. So, you still have like over 24 hours to get one, but after that, they're gone. So, basically, we're just like saying like, something that's interesting. So there we go. But that's really, really good to see. And I see some people, this is their first super chat celebration of the round table. And speaking of super chats, the whole idea is the notion that this round table helps support the channel, and that's really appreciated at this time as well. But it also allows you to get your ideas to us. And we do read the comments as well, so irrespective of that, but with Super Chats, we get to see the list, and it means we can properly attribute to you. We get some good ideas, and they do possibly end up being their own video. So we're always watching. So there you go. So let's kick things off. We got a lot because I opened this up much earlier today, and Podo, thank you very much for having the membership. Thank you very much, Podo. And you can also, for those of you who are a member, you can get this brand new emoji right here that I put up today. Because I was doing some editing today, and this one was just so good. Just, the down glasses. You can get the excuse you emoji if you become a member. And I am planning to, like, rejig my emojis to make them more, applicable across YouTube. So
I can do some pixel art, those,
Oh, we can always do some more of those as well. But sometimes, oh yeah, of course. All right, okay. I acknowledged and appreciated. But it's just sometimes, when you're editing and I do a funny face, you just find one, you cannot pass that up.
You don't pause a MasakoX video, really. Like, guys, we are talking mostly because, we have Nerd King, because we started a little bit earlier, so...
Yeah, so we do have a lot.
Nerd King and go to the regular schedule.
Yes, exactly. So, yeah, Nerd King says, this will be my last donation for a long time. I explain my reasons on Facebook. Once again, I hope Sophie gets better. For the next 3 months, I will need to save money like hell, but until I can donate again, until I wish you guys the best. Love you. Well, we love you too, Nerd King, and best of luck with you guys. So just stay safe out there, Nerd King. We're all rooting for you. We're all rooting for everyone here. But again, very much appreciated. And yeah, it'd be a shame that unfortunately you won't be going to like MCM to like maybe hang out and stuff, or like maybe chat. But unfortunately, maybe who knows next year. Right, White Oak is our first one, and says, what if Jaco showed up during the King Piccolo arc? Well, the thing is though, is that with Jaco, his power isn't that great, but he's a great blagger. He's a great blagger, and he can always really be good to kind of like talk his way out of a problem, albeit awkwardly. But, it's always good entertainment sometimes.
But to be quite honest, his power level is around 1000 and King Piccolo is 260, so Jaco would probably beat him to a pulp if he actually, decided to do something. So if Jaco bothered with fighting, he could actually beat King Piccolo.
And but would he really though? Think of all the all the writing and having to file that report afterwards.
I mean, if he had an audience or someone else, from the patrol with him,
Yeah,
he would
a
have to.
subordinate. He'd delegate.
Yeah, he
He
would
said,
have to.
"Well, hello, Lucky. Do take notes down on what transpired here today, and I'll put a good word for you to eventually become a super elite." You know. But, you said that to your last 5 assistants, Sir Jaco. I know what I said. They didn't cut the mustard, but you one day, sir, might do. Isn't that enough for you for the cause of the Galactic Patrol? I guess. He would delegate, but as you said, he probably would if he had the right manpower to be able to do the paperwork for him, take out King Piccolo. It would take some convincing. Okay.
Also, just one more thing quickly. I think he could be convinced because after all, this is a plan, and that he's one of his very few actual friends.
Oh yeah. But I think he would still be a little bit of convincing. He wouldn't do it necessarily straight off the bat. You need to have some kind of comedy hijinks in there. For good
measure. It's Jaco after all.
Yeah, exactly. Nick Wolf, Monday follow-up. What if Cell couldn't instant transmission? After King Kai, Cell's left to wander space for 7 years before coming back, and then gets drained by Spopovich. Oh man, I'd have to. I'm gonna play the sound for him. Oh man, that's an oof. That's an oof right there. Yep. So it's like, at last, I am back to Earth to finally act on my revenge. Parada-pa-pa! Oh, God! Oh, the irony! Oh, being raped! Oh. And stuff like that. You'd be just thinking, oh, come on. He does not deserve that. The Cell Boy don't deserve that. So...
I mean, he totally does, but...
Yeah. So basically, Robmar34, we do have a lot of people in our backlog. So if you have done I see that you do have one, so we will get to you. So if you can be patient, that would be very much appreciated. I mean, basically, we're going back until 4 p.m. when we put in ideas. So, okay, Dalen64. What if Goku were famous? He becomes a Mr. Satan-like figure to the world after the events of King Piccolo. The press might also be able to uncover his involved in take down the Red Ribbon Army. How would fame affect the Som family? Well, I feel like Goku would find it an absolute drag, for a start. He'd be hounded everywhere, he couldn't really go and do things, but Chi-Chi wouldn't mind it so much, because, she can,
Chi-Chi would do basically what Toriyama's wife does, and
just take care of
today's video,
take care of stuff.
Yeah,
take care of stuff, be his PA, speak for him, all that kind of stuff. Attend functions with very fancy parties and stuff.
Yeah, I think she would be his manager, and she would make it so I think, funnily enough, Goku's relationship with people would be similar to Toriyama. He would rarely appear and only really I don't think she would force him to, but again, maybe she would force him to shoot some instructional training videos for people, but I don't think Chi-Chi would necessarily force him to, to come to banquets every day, but to kind of minimize the impact. Goku wouldn't be that happy, but on the other hand, I think that they would find enough of a remote location to live that they would rarely appear public. He would be famous, but in the same way as Toriyama is famous, as we aren't really sure how he does look today, right? Because he really rarely appears.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Chrome Bison. What if a survivor of villain era Vegeta's atrocities got revenge by using sorcery to implant visions of Vegeta's victims' final moments into Vegeta's family's mind via nightmares? Well, I can understand, and I do like the idea of that kind of torture, but I feel like that Bulma and Trunks already sort of know that Vegeta wasn't a nice person at the start. They're aware of it. It would probably freak them out and give them nightmares, but it would never sway them into thinking Vegeta's horrible. They know he was never a bad guy, and he's never shied away from that.
Yeah, and the thing is, I would say that it would have more impact on Vegeta because on one hand he would feel like he would be like, hey, your beef is with me, not with my family. And I actually like, I think he would try to, as we saw with the Namekians, he would try to make amends with that person and try to somehow, like in this option, I can actually see Vegeta going the peaceful way with that, because I think he would feel guilty, and I think he does feel guilty for stuff that he did in the past, and I don't think he would necessarily go ballistic on that person.
No, but he would never try and deny that happened.
Yeah.
I mean, he would be more like, he'd be glad that he's no longer part of that. So
yeah.
Brandon Little, here's a zany crossover. What if Goku landed on the Borderlands Pandora? Well, from what I can tell, I've never really played the Borderlands games, but from what I know is that there are lots of very strange and very powerful creatures on there. So I think Goku would be alright there.
Yeah, like probably he would be raised by a gang of raiders and psychos, and he would like grow up on a very like a very very weird psycho, until of course he would be found by the I forgot the name of the company that owns Pandora, but basically if the corporates found him, that like they would change him into a child enforcer, more or less. If Handsome Jack found him, oh man, he would be his personal, like, I can imagine Handsome Jack making him his adopted son / pet, and that wouldn't be good. That wouldn't be for nobody.
No, that would not be good to man or beast unless your name was Handsome Jack. Alright, White Oak next. What if Goku became Yamcha's adopted brother when he landed on Earth? Oh, you know that Yamcha would try and be the cool older brother. Like, even though he might not be as strong or have much potential as Goku would, he would still be like, he would still be that inspirational guy. And considering how much of a sponge, like, Goku is, he would totally believe that Yamcha was the best thing since sliced bread. And that was before Goku ever had sliced bread.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Tempest basically says Yamcha would be the Kamina of Dragon Ball. Yeah. He'd have that cool thing, and if there was ever a moment he would sacrifice himself, he'd basically just have that cool ending, and then be thrown into the wind. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Alright, JK asks, what if Jaco took Kakarot to Galactic Patrol? Well, Jaco would probably have to fill in a lot of paperwork. He would not certainly adopt the kid, because he's not really a paternal kind of guy. He's very kind of like self-obsessed. So probably he would be like, try and see if there was anybody he could like palm it off to people. Like, maybe he would like try and find like some kind of world where he could like take them.
Yeah, I think with Saiyan's strength they might try like the Galactic Patrol overall, right? Like Gia, Iriko, they could try take care out of him to to have their own Saiyan. The biggest question is to me how long Mirus has been there, because he's young for an angel, but he still can be like centuries old, Like even Beerus calls Mirus kid, right? And yeah. I feel that it would be like I think they would it would be like, okay, let's try to have our own Saiyan, because at this point like good science was something unheard of by the Galactic Patrol, and that would be like, okay, it would be nice to have a Saiyan on our side. And I think actually if they did take care of him, that wouldn't be Jaco. Jaco would be like his crazy uncle. Maybe he would soften up to him with time, but
he'd be like that uncle or that person who can't understand why Goku likes him so much.
Yeah.
And is really resistant to it, and then eventually warms up to him. Yeah.
So I think that Goku would enjoy his time on Galactic Patrol, because he would fight bad guys. He would have I think I see a pretty good future for Goku in the patrol.
Okay, it's certainly not worthy playing the sound. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. Todd Howard asks, any of you guys know Elder Scrolls lore?
Yeah.
Okay, so here he goes. What if the Dwemer from Elder Scrolls were in Universe 7?
Dwemer.
Dwemer, sorry.
You know, like that's a very, very intricate question because like Dwemer, like the dwarves, and the dwarves in Elder Scrolls Universe are also elves, right? They disappeared because mostly the most likely theory is because they achieved Kim, the thing that I told you last time, that basically they realize they are fictional in a dream, so the logical paradox basically erased them. So seeing how zany Dragon World is, they would disappear much quicker when they try to achieve, Kim. I think they would still try to do it. They would still try to make an artificial god, which, by the way, somebody already tried in GT, and I don't think like the actual gods on the of the Dragon Ball universe would take lightly to. But like if Kim worked like in the Elder Scrolls universe, they would like, okay, this world is bonkers. It has no sense. We are in a fictional world. Paradox. Boop. We stop existing. The end. So play the song for poor Dwemer.
Okay. Alright, on that note, we continue. Margaret Evans says, what if the Cell games were more like a tournament? Well, basically, I feel like Cell would certainly... He'd play the odds in his favour, really. And he'd be basically like... just like trying to make sure that Goku would get through all the rounds and stuff like that. He'd certainly make sure that Vegeta and he never came across each other.
You know, I would also think that he might, like, just like King Piccolo had different children, he would spawn different Cell Juniors and add them to the roster as challenges,
Yeah, like roadblocks to kind of get stuff in the way.
Yeah.
Okay, Todd Howard actually adds something. To give MasakoX some perspective on the power of the Dwemer, they built a living god that could destroy reality through sheer nihilism. Okay, fair enough. That actually acts a matter of perspective. Thanks, Todd. Alright, Margaret has another one. What if King Cold decided to never retire? Well, if King Cold decided to never retire, then probably Planet Vegeta would still be around. So, probably would still be around. Kakarot would still, it'd still be on there. You really wouldn't have Dragon Ball as you knew it. Like, Dragon Ball, like, Bulma probably would have found the Dragon Balls, or at least started her quest on her own. Probably that Mount Paozu still gone there. Grandpa Gohan would have eventually given it to her, but ultimately she probably would have been felled by Monster Carrot if she wasn't careful.
Yeah.
But, yeah. But for King Cold, though, the Saiyans would still be around. And, yeah, the Empire would still carry on. And King Cold would probably just, like, shoehorn Frieza into some kind of, like commander thing. Not really give him too much authority until he decided to, until he passed, pretty much. And who knows how long that would take.
Who knows, they can even pass from old age.
They probably could, but I think they probably live for several centuries. At the very least. Or maybe it's never been tested, so we'll have to see. Yep. Todd says, hi Masako, I remember a few streams back you saying you liked my idea of Goku being in Universe 9. I was curious if you had plans for it. Well, we've got so many ideas to get through right now, but the whole idea of Goku being in Universe 9, or like being in there as like some kind of like mascot or like child of the Trio de Danger, because he knows that if he was that strong, he would have found them. Probably like be friends with Basil in a way. Basil seems the most likable of the three.
Yeah.
Podo? Going off of my Dragon Ball Elder Scrolls What If from last week, since you chose for DB to take place in Skyrim Zero, and since Kami lands 300 before DB, which in this case means before most Elder Scrolls games, how does the original King Piccolo rampage go?
Oh, like... the thing is that, like... King Piccolo, it was pretty powerful in DB universe, right? But I still feel that Empire at its full might would be able to take it, take him out, basically, Yeah, by the original war, I presume you mean the first encounter. Like, if there was some like some powerful Telvanni mages involved, like King Piccolo has no chance. Like, they could imprison him no problem. And like with Telvanni, the problem is that if they are bothered and if it basically invaded on their domain, which King Piccolo would be a pretty global problem. That again, as like it would be much of the same unless powerful Elder Scrolls mages would be concerned, essentially. Either Talm or Telvanni, choose your own poison. But the only ones that can really like measure up to the power of Dragon Ball characters in the Elder Scrolls universe are either living gods or powerful mages. So because boy. Dragonborn, you can shout at people, but like Goku can instant transmission behind you when you're done.
Yeah, and as we've seen in Super, he can scream in Beerus' ear and cause great pain.
Yeah.
So he can do that.
Oh my god, Goku is a literal Dragonborn. That's why that's why Shenron takes him.
That's why he likes biting things so much. He likes using his mouth. Right, Podo again says the what if where Universe 7 has Neon instead of Earth?
Yeah, we had like what's with all the Elder Scrolls? Like I love Elder Scrolls, guys, but like
yeah, it's interesting how that's got something to it was Elder Scrolls and Dragon Ball.
I mean, we have Todd Howard, but like I still haven't forgiven you for Fallout 76 Todd, so
Oh.
But to continue, like again, Nan is more of a fantasy setting, so I can imagine, like it would be much more interesting to have all the Dragon Balls spread across various, kingdoms in Tamriel. Like maybe have one with the Khajiit in Elsewhere, have one in Skyrim with Nords, have one with Dunmers in Morrowind and so forth. Like I feel that we would have a much more colorful cast of characters. Like for example, we could make Yamcha a Khajiit in that universe, to kind of adapt instead of just putting Dragon Ball characters in there. Like Piccolo and King Piccolo could be the Orsimer, the orcs in that universe and stuff. So like adapting the story like that, I can actually I may actually do that one day. In that way to play out, but not put Dragon Ball characters in it, but adapt the story.
Okay.
Saiyans would probably have to be Nords. I mean, they are actually monkey people on Akavir, but we know very little about them.
Okay. Well, again, it's very interesting to see the Elder Scrolls being connected.
Yeah.
Vulcan's up next. What if Gohan had a twin sister, Kuroda, the Impact? And I think we've had this one last week. But I suppose if Gohan had a twin sister, again, I'm pretty sure they'd get along just fine because Gohan's quite the amiable person. So basically, yeah. So
based on traditional roles and what the narrative would expecting, like she would probably the one that would want to train more. And she would clash a lot with Chi-Chi because she would like to be more,
Yeah, Chi-Chi would want to stick to stereotype and she wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
So I think certainly that. JK says, random idea. What if Zeno was Super Shenron? I'm playing the sound. Because if Zeno was Super Shenron, basically imagine, I wish for this. No, that's dumb. I don't like that idea. Like,
as long as we don't go for the theory that I think they were setting up initially, but they changed it. Maybe Toriyama said, no, he's serious. Like that Zeno's, that childish form is an act, but
no, it's actually him.
Maybe it's him, but let's remember that this is mostly anime thing. Like in manga, he's still much more tame. So maybe anime just wanted to make him a mascot.
Probably. Sell toys. Or at
Yeah.
least just have some kind of like anarchic person. Alright,
Yep.
Seaton 2. What if the Super Dragon Ball said Shadow Dragons? Well, now that we know that they do exist, and like Champa and Beerus will use them quite a lot, then I'm pretty sure that eventually it might happen. So like maybe, say for example, the Super Shenron, instead of the Shadow Dragons, Zarama like appears from there. Like Zarama is released, and he tries to enact his revenge upon Zeno. Like
maybe not even Zeno, but like that the gods of destruction that overuse. You know,
so basically it
the power.
requires Goku and friends to help. But yeah, maybe in that sense, try and get the idea to work right. Why don't? Random idea. What if the Ginyu Force were part of the Pride Troopers? Well, it'd be interesting to see. You know what? It would have actually been really funny if one of the Pride Troopers was actually modeled on one of the Ginyu Force. Like, was one of their race, like a Jace person.
Yeah.
Like a Jace or a Ginyu or something like that. No, not even Ginyu, but like one of like maybe Jace or Berta or something like that. And so if like Dispo was a basically Berta.
Yeah.
Or something
like
that.
Dispo and Berta would have amazing banter. Also, like keep in mind, guys, that all the Pride Troopers that we see in TOP, from our understanding, these are not all Pride Troopers. It's a huge organization. They have more of those. They just choose that 10 of the strongest.
Yeah,
they are way more.
Yeah. Now that I've done my Tournament of Power bingo thing, Kunchi is actually really good from what I see. Because his, like, string powers, I mean, they could really bother Goku up to a very high level. So I feel like if he was used properly, I think he could have been very, very good. Like, think about it. You know, if you had Dispo, like, running into there, and, like, bringing people in, and then they get, like, electrified by Kunchi's, like, string field, that'd be really awesome. That'd be a good double act.
Yep.
Team Valor, I don't know if you guys answered this before, but what if Future Trunks was stuck in the past after Perfect Cell was destroyed? How much would the story have differed from what we already got? Well, Future Trunks being around would have probably helped in terms of Boo. Like, certainly maybe it, like, encouraged Gohan to keep training.
No Madrid Vegeta, because he would, like...
He would have trained with Trunks.
Yeah, he would train with Trunks. He would be like older brother figure for himself. So and for Goten, so they would adore him. I feel.
Yeah.
Like he would be the like probably the version for the kids would be that this is the older brother or something, or like half brother of Trunks, That's I think how they would tackle it.
I mean, in Super, they kind of had no choice but to tell present Trunks that that's his future self. They had no choice, really. Yeah, that's true. Insane Australian TJC, thank you very much for becoming a member. Welcome to the Master Fold. And Team Velo's back at it again. What if Dragon Ball Goku had an adopted father while growing up with Grandpa Gohan? An actual human parent raising him after Grandpa Gohan passing. Okay, so basically if he had like a second parent. I feel like if it was just like an average human guy with Goku, he's really impulsive, and Grandpa Gohan was like really, really chill. It would have taken a really patient human to really handle Goku. And especially if he didn't know about the whole Ozaru thing, then the second that Goku became a grade 8, he would basically abandon the kid.
Yeah, surprise! Yeah.
Surprise, your new baby boy can turn into a giant monkey. Good luck with that. Yeah. Craig Twitchell now. Your what ifs are amazing, but not all ideas can be implemented into the story. What if you made some lack of a better term crackpot what ifs? Hope you know what I mean. Well, that's the whole point of the April Fool what ifs. The April Fool what ifs allow us to be a bit more madcap. Sometimes we do allow some of our what ifs to get a little bit zanier, just a little bit, but we don't want to do that too often. And even then, we only do it for like a couple of story beats.
And sometimes we try to do it, like to not retread the very same story over and over and over. Because like, the problem is that with many what ifs that we haven't continued in a while, and by while we don't mean like 2-3 months because the what ifs are on rotation, but like in let's say a year, right? Because we don't really see a future when this what if would be, different other than cosmetics. And what's the point of telling the story that you guys already have seen, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because what's better? Yeah, us basically telling you what happens, or you going watching the show.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. Craig Twitchell, could Cell get a transformation if he ate Dr. Gero? He is an android like 17 and 18. Well, the thing is though, Dr. Gero's thing is basically all mechanical. He is basically
except the brain,
except his brain, and the brain is really that not much to it. So he might maybe get some kind of intellectual boost, but that will be it.
And also important thing that you guys need to remember, it's not like he gains transformation because he's designed to absorb them. It's like they are his spare parts. It's much like you had with Android 13. Like Android 13 in the movie was designed to eventually absorb the other two, because like they are basically the additional parts for him. If like this is the final plan. This is the plan, essentially the plan B thing,
Yeah, exactly. So basically, it's like, from what I can tell, is that it's usually like because Cell is biomechanical, and with mechanical stuff, if you don't program something, it won't do it. So Cell's makeup is about, if Android 17 is absorbed, you then certain things change and you become that form. If 18 is absorbed, you then become perfect.
That's why he was able to return to his perfect form, because it was already programmed into his makeup when he reformed. His body already remembered that.
And not to mention with the Saiyan Zenkai.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has let's say maybe like a fifth of his genetic makeup is Saiyan. So he would have enough for a Zenkai. Certainly.
Again, the only way to change him is to really mutate his biological parts, but only by mutation, only by change. But that could make him pretty unstable.
It would indeed. Alright, Vulcan, what if Bardock and Guinea were in the Goku married Bulma thing? Well, if they're around, like with a lot of things, Bardock would basically be like, he would be drifting in and stuff like that. He might come back and like say, oh cool, you got yourself a woman. Nice. Okay, I'm heading out. He'd just think, oh, cool. Yeah, Guinea probably would be very supportive and stuff like that, maybe. Be very confused with the whole, tradition of human weddings and stuff like that. But keen to know. So, yeah. Just have the doting mother and the very aloof father figure. Red Dragon, what if Krillin learned the Metamoran fusion during his 3 months in Otherworld after Namek? Gohan and Tien-Shinha versus androids? Well, okay, so basically if he met the Metamorans, he probably would have been able to learn it, because he's just as smart as Goku in terms of application for martial arts. And he did understand the basics when he was learning it with Piccolo. Yeah, or when he was like demonstrating it. So I imagine he probably would have gone like, oh, I'll teach it to Goku. He's always teaching me stuff, or we're friends and stuff like that. So, you'd have Gorin or Gorillan and stuff like that from the Dragon Ball Fusions game.
Remember that they kept making Krillin shorter and shorter, but the thing is that the whole like equal size helps, but it's kind of BS. Like knowing how like Goku is taller than Vegeta, but it's more challenging when you have different size, like different height, essentially.
You can make it work, but it's trickier.
Yeah.
You just make it harder for yourself. Craig Twitchell, what if Cell was in the Tournament of Power? Well, anyone who was animating that would have a really hard time with the spots and stuff like that. But realistically, if Cell was in there, all he'd need to do is, he probably would have the access to the stretchy arms of Piccolo in theory. But he probably would certainly be very calculating. He'd be a bit more trustworthy than Frieza would be. And I feel like he would actually honor the tournament more because of the whole Saiyan aspect. And he would understand why Goku wanted the tournament.
Yeah.
He'd play along more. He'd be more of a team player.
He could motivate Gohan. Also, yeah, remembering that him and Piccolo would be on equal power. That's one thing to remember.
Yeah, so
we don't know what
he wouldn't be the strongest, but
yeah. We still don't know what Cell's personal hell is. I have an idea, but I don't want to spoil it here in case we use it someday for something.
Yeah.
So I don't want to spoil it, but essentially, like, they would need to take him out there. Like, he would probably love it, but I'm not for all people. He's probably training in hell. Like now we know that the canon, quote unquote, status of hell is more like something that Frieza has, and let me tell you, I'm pretty sure he isn't training. He isn't allowed to. It's supposed to be to punish him and force him to repent, which I don't think Cell would do.
No.
As much as Frieza. So,
no, certainly not. Craig again. What if Cell fused with everyone he has DNA of? Okay, so basically, if you fused with like Piccolo, Frieza, and all that junk, you'd have that thing from Dragon Ball Fusions. You just have you'd have either Cell X or something like that. Like you get something with like Aniraza. You'd have this giant kaiju. You'd have to have a kaiju.
Yep.
Like giant Saiyan Namekian kaiju form.
But it would be very unstable and could fall apart. Like with Aniraza, it was easier because most of it were robots, after all, designed to fuse. And in this case, it would be amazing for like 15 minutes. Then it would fall apart.
It would have to be, you'd have to get the job done very quickly.
I mean, 15 minutes is a lot in Dragon Ball, but still.
Exactly. It's the Namek saga 3 times over.
Yeah.
Connor Moffat, what if Future Trunks became Time Patrol Trunks after leaving the Goku Black Arc? It's probably what he's going to do. Because if there is a Xenoverse 3, and they did do that, or if they could easily rectify the flaw of the ending of the Goku Black Arc if you just show the shot of, "Hi, I'm Cronoa. Nice to meet you. You were a bad boy messing around with time. To repent for this, you've got to become my lackey." So basically, so long as they can do that and add Cronoa, that would fix a lot of problems. Because at least Trunks will be going off and doing something instead of being taken to another dimension and go like, "Oh, okay, here's a new place. Go and deal with your present selves. Okay, bye." You know, it's a much more proactive ending. Let's say that.
Yeah.
Arthur E. King, what'd be the difference between Vegeta Super Saiyan Blue after the Tournament apart and Ozaru, and Vegeta Super Saiyan 4 and Super Saiyan God? Is there a difference? Well, yes, totally. Because Vegeta's Super Saiyan Blue evolution is the pinnacle of Vegeta right now. His Ozaru form would not have access to any Super Saiyan transformation because it's basically 10 times base. So unfortunately, that's out of the question. Super Saiyan 4, it's never really been tested against Blue except in Heroes. But in theory, maybe close. And then Super Saiyan God is like less than Blue. But not much less than Blue.
Also, keep in mind, guys, as far as we know for now, in official sources, Ozaru doesn't scale.
No.
That's why it's very sad, but that's why it's very, very weak. And nowadays, everyone, even future Yajirobe are capable of taking down Ozaru.
Yes.
Ozaru is really, really weak.
Well, yeah, and it's a 10x base. It's 10 times base at best, unless it's Golden Ozaru. That's in that case, it's 100. But that's basically the same as Super Saiyan 2.
Yeah.
At best. Red Dragon,
which is still not that impressive today.
It's not these days. Alright, Red Dragon Force 2. What if Gohan could have fought Kid Buu on the Kai world? Well, if Gohan were still around, if he hadn't been blown up, probably he would have, with his ultimate power, probably he would have actually been quite good. Because he would have been constantly improving. He probably would have been better at preventing Kid Buu from getting to Goku better than Vegeta. Or if it was Vegeta and Kid Buu, Vegeta and Gohan versus Kid Buu, they probably would have actually done enough for Goku to actually, not be having to be in too much peril. But at the same time, it wouldn't be nearly as perilous. So, it would have taken away some of the drama, unless you basically had Gohan take over from Vegeta. Craig Twitchell, what if Gero survived and Cell roped him into the Cell games because he wanted to prove he was superior than Gero's intelligence or something? Okay, basically he'd be just like, look Dad, look what I can do! I'm better than you! But I feel like Gero kind of would want to see that. He would want to see that because he would want to see his being actually attain perfection like he programmed it to. That's what he intended for Cell to do.
Also, if it's a filler again, I'm kind of contradicting myself, but if you notice those scenes in Hell, in the filler when Babidi is cheering for Goku, you can see that Cell and Gero are kind of hanging out together. I noticed that only recently when I rewatched this.
Really?
Cell and Gero, Cell and Gero are next to each other, and Frieza and King Cold are next to each other.
Oh yeah, that picture, because I was editing that today.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, interesting. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I think they're cool. I don't think Gero and Cell has any beef between.
Oh no, not at all. Basically, he attained perfection, so he got what he wanted. All right, Craig again. What if Dr. Gero's Android 20 was in the Tournament of Power? Well, you know what? With his absorbing powers, he'd actually be kind of handy.
He would be very good against other robots, and we have some of them, and you have a lot of them in the tournament. I think he would be used from the story perspective. He would outsmart. He would find a fatal flaw in Dr. Paparoni.
Yeah, he would find a way to kind of negate his robots, or make them, or basically drain them so much they could not fuse into Koichirato. Or in something like that.
Yeah.
Or find some way to be able to maybe control the robot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe like that.
He would take part because again I don't think he's a guy that would like to see the world destroyed, which is kinda.
Well, that's not.
That's not clashes with Zelda's and probably he even wouldn't want to be revived, but make people remember that I helped, save this wretched world or something, or just if he got the Super Dragon Balls, turn everyone into androids. Essentially, that would be his wish.
It basically him going "Remember me."
Yeah,
that kind of stuff. So he just wants to be remembered in some way. Toast my ghost. What if Kami spawned an heir to fight Piccolo? There's no telling whether... I don't think Kami is capable of doing that when in his separated form.
I don't know. Piccolo could easily, so maybe that would have to be next to death or something. I don't know.
Maybe if Kami didn't come up with... didn't have Goku there. If Goku wasn't there, brought up by Korin to train, Kami might have had to spawn an heir. And then you probably would have had the son of Kami and the son of King Piccolo duking it out. Basically fighting their parents, sins of the father, pretty much.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. APC, what if Cooler was the main villain instead of Frieza? How would this affect the entire Dragon Ball timeline? Well, I feel like Planet Vegeta wouldn't have been destroyed. Or I don't think it would have been, because, Cooler is very much on King Cold's wavelength. Really.
It would be. It could go two ways with Cool. It would either not be destroyed, and he would sway science on his side, and they would don't question his orders. Or if he decide to destroy them if they because the chances they would attempt to free themselves from Cold Force control. Because it is pretty likely because they try to kill Cold and Frieza. Cooler would make sure that no Saiyan remains alive.
Okay. That seems fair enough. All right.
But if they haven't rebelled, basically we wouldn't have Dragon Ball because either Goku would be still on Planet Vegeta, or Planet Vegeta wouldn't exist. So.
No, that's fair. All right. Craig Twitchell again. What if Dr. Gero learned of the Kais? How do you think he would try to use that kind of knowledge to better humanity in this twisted way? Well, considering that, in theory, Gero is in Android 20 is stronger than Frieza. In theory, he would have been able to take down Shin, or at least try and find some way. But there would have been some kind of other entity to stop him. But I feel like due to his sheer arrogance, he would either not want to resort to that kind of stuff and admit that he was wrong, that there were gods and stuff like that, or it would be some kind of trick to lure them into
he would if he learned about the kite face. Oh, that's not a good sign. He would make androids who can almost like Cybermen that you can plant like Kais.
Oh.
He would make some cell Kais. But if you watch our What If Gero and Frieza teamed up, speaking of Gero and Kais.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm not saying that there's a Kai involved, but if there was a certain Kai involved, maybe there is a Kai involved. Who knows? I don't. Certainly.
I see what you did there. All right. Yeah. Paparacha. What if Moro Yamcha was reincarnated as Pilaf Yamcha? Okay, so basically, if the Yamcha we see in the Moro arc, and Owen Mark, don't worry, we have a lot of people to go through. So we're not even a third of the way through yet. So I do see your what if, but just be patient. We will get to you.
Yep.
So just for we have a lot of people. So you just as long as you're patient, I do see you, Owen. You are on there. So we
are down one person tonight. So
Yeah, exactly. So we are one person down. So do bear that in mind. But basically, if that Yamcha that we see in Moro being complete, and if he was the Pilaf Yamcha, he'd be really calm, he'd be a bit of a jerk and stuff like that. Like, maybe Bulma wouldn't have been as attracted to him, because he was, quite submissive, but attractive, and that's what drew her to him at that time. He was so sweet and naive, and stuff like that, and also good looking, and also pretty strong against Goku. So I feel like
he wouldn't have lost to that Cyberman.
Yeah, certainly not. For a start.
He would be the prophet Yamcha, essentially. He could warn people, and I think that would be might make him arrogant. But on the other hand, he would certainly start training much earlier and might get
just
pretty good gains.
Check the case of being reincarnated as Yamcha, really, for what would happen in theory.
Yeah.
Hannah Rowan, what if Ranch meant Fem Goku? I think they get along just fine. I think they would train, all that kind of stuff. Not really much to it, honestly. She'd be a little bit weirded out by the fact that her uncle Goku was now Auntie Goku. But eventually, I don't really see there'd be much of a difference. It'd be just a cute little bit of fan service in a way. Alpha165, what if Goku and Frieza switched bodies forever? Well, for a start, if Goku had Frieza's body and kept training, he'd get really strong.
Diamond Frieza.
Diamond Frieza. Obsidian Frieza.
Yeah.
And Frieza, oh man, he would find a way to get stronger as well, but the Zenkai thing, it would be a much more painful experience.
I would say, post Broly movie Frieza, no problem. He would earlier. He would be really frustrated. Right now, no. I feel he would learn how to tap into this power.
Oh yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, that's a big qualifier with Frieza these days. post-Broly or pre-Broly. And JK says, Obsidian Frieza sounds terrifying. I don't know, there's just something about the word obsidian that sounds sinister.
Obsidious.
Ah. Master Riku, what if time travel was only a one-way trip into the past? Well, it's sort of familiar to my what if that I did ages ago about what if Trunks was stuck in the past. Only he would be in the past forever. And also there'd have to be that coming to terms with Trunks, like it's a one-way ticket. Basically, he's kind of leaving his mother to die. The only way, I think maybe if they knew that it was a one-way ticket, then Future Bomb would have gone back with him. Because basically there would have been no one else. Yep. Their only rationale would be, you know, they'd think, oh, well they don't know about multiverse theory. So they just think, oh, if we go back and fix it, then everything will be fine back in our timeline. Then they realize, oh no, they can't go back. So if they fixed everything, they would cease to be back in the past, and then they'd exist back in the future. But that doesn't happen like that. They'd be stuck in there, and they basically left their future to die. There'd be a lot of mental torture. Let's just say that. Play the sound. Only from the future. Red Dragon Force 2. I realized that Gohan going with Zaro and Namek would be similar to Good Boy Raditz's storyline and accomplish the same thing. Lol with Goku's head scratch. Oh yeah. Basically, if Gohan had done that, he probably would have actually been better against Third Form Frieza. Like, at that time. If he basically went that against Third Form, he probably would have been closer in power to Frieza. Like, he would have actually been able to, like, slow him down and give him a bit of trouble. It would also look really cool. Giant monkey fighting Frieza.
Yep.
Certainly looked very cool. Alright. Heartless Fang. What if Krillin took over the Frieza Force? In this instance, Future Trunks doesn't blow up King Cold's ship, so there are still some alive. Oh man. It's like, listen up, you! I'm your new ruler now! You had a bald leader? Well, guess what? You're having another one, baby! And my first decree is, everyone is supposed to shave their heads!
Okay, I guess it's better than told us.
That's a very weird command, but considering who we had, that's actually not that bad. They shrug, roll with it. So long as they still have a job.
Could we still be named after fruits? No, that would be silly. Now you have to have names after nuts. You will be my first in command, Coco Nut.
Yeah, exactly. He'd be like, he would instill his own rules. He would certainly love that. JK.
Yeah.
What if Ox King raised Goku? If Ox King raised Goku, he'd be a very doting father, because he basically would have been the same thing as, like with Chi-Chi. A very doting father, very clingy, very supportive.
Oh, my little Goku never leave.
And also, if he had a power level of 900, Goku would have gotten hella strong.
Yeah.
With that potential, he would have been over 1,000 by the time you got to, like, the tournament. And he would have met Roshi. He would have met Roshi sooner. Probably.
Also, he would go to a lot of bear cruises.
Well, there you go. Alpha 165. What if Goku had to fight Doomsday and Superman had to fight Final Form Frieza? Well, if Final Form Frieza had fought Superman, in terms of power, again, you know, a Superman would still win because, you know, Superman always has to win. And against Doomsday, Goku would probably maybe win because he would have that tenacity. But yeah, basically from the death battles, and the winner is Superman! Regardless. I'm still salty about that 8 years later. I can't believe it's been like 8 years, man. Wow.
Yeah.
Paparazzi. What if Ginyu accidentally swapped bodies with Frieza, leaving Goku in Ginyu, Ginyu in Frieza, and Frieza in Goku? I feel like if Ginyu accidentally swapped bodies with Frieza, then I feel like Frieza would be basically demanding his body back, but then
And I think Ginyu would do that.
he would do it immediately. And then there'd be just like some madcap drama. Goku would try and get in the middle of all of them, but ultimately it would have just been for a gag.
Again, we had that quite a few times already, but like our biggest reasoning is that Cold had Ginyu's back when Frieza was a little baby, and they were already adults. So either they're a super genetic modified commando or they just live longer. But to me, if Cold and Frieza had Ginyus for so long, knowing what Ginyu's gimmick is, they certainly have countermeasures for them. Either he's completely loyal and programmed to be completely loyal to Frieza, or change doesn't work on Frieza. Simple enough.
Yeah. All right.
That's my
No, that's good.
theory.
Craig, what if Dr. Gero, after Namek recognized Bulma's intelligence, kidnapped and brainwashed her, and hurt Goku and to utilize her brain to further his own goals? Wow, Craig, you really want to know more about Dr. Gero, seriously. But, okay, in answer to your question, if Gero basically... If that insectoid bug was there when Bulma put up the idea of, let's go find his lab and just kill him. Like, I'm glad, Jesse, that people love Dr. Gero. He's very underrated.
Yeah, it's one of our favorite villains, if you guys haven't noticed.
Well, he's the most successful one. He's the most successful, or one of them. But yeah, so basically, if you decide to capture Bulma, it would certainly get back at Son Goku, because that's one of his oldest friends, for a start. Her intelligence would be incredible. Probably would program her, not like, completely eviscerate her in a way, but basically use her as a plant, as a mole, a capsule corp.
It might end up with her backstabbing him and taking though.
Yeah, there is a flaw, potentially. But his initial plan would be to make her a mole inside Capsule Corp and get close to Goku and that kind of stuff. Because as we know, if Goku has his guard down, bullets can hurt him. So in theory, a bullet in the right place or in a certain injury could actually really hurt him.
And as we know, Goku hates moles because they destroy vegetable crops and destroy food, and they taste awfully.
And it gets him in trouble with Chi-Chi.
Yeah.
So there you go. Vincent Weineman, what if Ginyu went Super Saiyan after he switched bodies with Goku? Wow, okay. So if he was actually able to tap into Goku's power and go, wait a moment, there's a power in here. And now the dance of change. Just his dance becomes a Super Saiyan. He basically jives his way to Super Saiyan jive. God. Doing that crazy Super Saiyan jive. Saiyan jive. Digging that Saiyan jive. And all that stuff. It would have been done in a ridiculous manner. It would have been funny, but I think it would have cheapened the legacy of Super Saiyan ultimately. But it would have been funny to look at. Yep. Hannah Rowan. So Trunks had a kid prior to Goku Black. Who manages to go back to the past with their father? So like say maybe prior to Goku Black, Trunks and Mai, they had a kid. Maybe. Probably I think, Trunks would have to be the one to go back into the past because, this is Dragon Ball. It still deals with typical male-female stereotypes. Mai, you stay here with the kid and protect them like a typical woman should.
You have a gun, so that's okay. So you are progressive because you're now with a gun.
That's our token way of showing you're progressive. You know how to use a sniper rifle. Meanwhile, in Japan, the audience just nods and goes, okay, us in the West face palm. Oh, really? But one thing I will say, though, future Mai in the Goku Black arc is badass. She's so cool. And fearless. Like, seriously. She has no fear. And that is so cool. I would say she's one of the bravest characters in the series.
My main problem with the future Mai is I would like her better if she was a new original character.
Yeah, it would have been better if she were a different character, but honestly, it's
a good character, but it's still
it would have been even better if it was a brand new character entirely.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So, Red Dragon, on behalf of Karen Sinai, what if Goku landed in Popeye's world? Oh man. Can you imagine the Zenkai boost every time he would get by eating his spinach?
He would love that. Goku would love his spinach. Like he's not, he only doesn't like grapes, but he likes his veggies.
And eventually, say, I gotta fight with my same brother. Yeah, I'm gonna fight with the same brother. I'm gonna train all the time. Ah, that's my boy. It's like, I am what I am. I'm Goku the Saiyajin. Ooh, I can be so much more proud of my boy. Yeah, Heartless Fang next. What if we swapped Goku and Vegeta's personalities for a week to teach them a lesson? If they did, it would be a madcap mini arc. It'd be a 1-episode thing for a start. I certainly would say.
Yeah.
So basically, it would be one of those things where you just like have like Vegeta and stuff like that, and like Vegeta would say, "Whatever you do not go near my Bulma," and stuff like that. Don't pretend to be me, because only I get to be intimate with her. It's like, what? He's like, and then you get Vegeta. What? I don't know how to kiss people, apparently. Oh my God, Kakarot, how dumb are you? It's like, or you go like, hey, look at me! I'm Vegeta! Ha! Goku would have so much fun with this, pretending to be Vegeta.
I have so much pride. I wish I was a carrot.
Exactly. Paparacha. What if Cell lost by ring out and in utter shock just short of wandered away? It would have to be one of those things where Cell just didn't expect it so much, but Goku's like adherence to rules would have just been like, oh, okay, I guess I lost. Well, I'll be seeing you. Flies off into space. He goes like, wait a minute.
And he blows Earth.
He blows Earth from space. So I'm playing the sound. Yeah, Red Dragon Force 2 on behalf of Karen Sinai again. What if Goku introduced Arale to Zeno? Oh, they'd be the best of buddies.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Or, because it's a gag manga, and Zeno is like to be the king of everything, Arale becomes his queen.
Yeah.
The queen of everything. And it would probably just, this anarchic... Honestly, that would have been so much funnier than having two Zenos. Like, somehow Arale becomes Zeno's best friend and the queen of everything.
And we and later on we have that shot of Grand Priest drinking in the same bar when lunch was with lunch.
Yeah. Then just like Grand Priest is just like, oh, and then Launch said, "Hey Bub, hey Blue Bub, room for one more." It's like, yeah, but yeah, I just want to see that now, Zeno and Arale as a couple.
Yeah.
Right, John Coleman. What if Chi-Chi let Goku train Gohan to defend himself, and while Gohan studied, Goku studies with him? So maybe it'd be some kind of plan that Gohan has with Chi-Chi to like get Goku to like study. So like it's like almost reverse training in terms of his brain. It's a big brain idea. So basically Chi-Chi says, "Oh, I'll do that, but Gohan first, why don't you basically just like teach Goku a thing or two?"
Yeah.
A bit of subversive thing. Oh, yep. Oh, by the way, it's 8 o'clock, everybody. So we are doing our clap for our carers thing. So once again, thank you all so much if you are working in essential sectors and stuff like that. Basically, thank you so much for what you're doing, and you're staying safe, and basically we all really appreciate what you're doing out there. So just be safe out there. All right? So one more clap. Yay!
Yeah.
Awesome. So, once again, just stay safe out there, everyone. But back to this. Red Dragon says on behalf of Augustus, what if the Tournament of Power took place after the end of Z? Well, if it did, then that probably would be like Goku's last hurrah, and he probably would bring Oob along with him. So, Probably that'd be it, really. You just have Oob on the team. No need for Frieza. Craig again. What if Shenron turned Chi-Chi and Bulma into Saiyans after accidentally commenting about understanding their husbands? I know that people want them to basically become fan servicey and they all have like kinky times with all that kind of stuff, but in the reality, all that would really happen would be that, okay, Chi-Chi would understand Goku's drive to train and stuff, and honestly, Goku and Vegeta treat them like female Saiyans anyway, because they're strong-willed and they reminded them of Saiyan women. So really, day to day, there wouldn't be that much difference. Except they maybe have tails and that stuff. Paparazza. What if a version of Cell went back too far, was enslaved by Barbady, and was eventually sealed after absorbing untold worlds? Or what if Cell was Boo? Probably less anarchic, less chaotic for a start. So, and you'd have a very respectful kind of guy, but it would be almost interesting to see if that was one version of Cell. So everyone kind of just goes like, wait, what? Cell, what are you doing there? Oh, multiverse theory. So basically, multiverse theory took care of it, so there are two cells. They thought they dealt with one cell, but it was wrong. All that stuff. That would have been a twist. You fought Cell before. Now you have to face him again. Yes, Jesse. My anarchic for me is the word of the day.
Yep.
I like that word. Okay. What do we have here? Paparazzi again. What if pre-Battle of Gods Bulma secretly wished herself Saiyan for the aging curve? Or, of course, confessing when a sixth was needed for the ritual. Again, I feel like the thing is, though, she doesn't really know the Saiyan aging process because it never really would have come into conversation. We know that. There's no guarantee that she knows that. And also,
I mean, they figured it out at some point, right?
Eventually, they would, she would figure it out. Like, basically, by the time she was in her 50s and Vegeta looks exactly the same, she would basically ask the question then. But at this point in Super, and especially in pre-Battle of Gods, she's like not even like 40. She's like, in her 30s and stuff, so she's still pretty young. I feel like if she did, she would then, but then she would probably have to wish for that to change again, because she would still have to do the Saiyan aging thing, because by the time she gets to 80, she would rapidly deteriorate, and like she would never live nowhere near as long as Dr. Briefs would. Yep. So there is that caveat. All right, Craig again. What if Whis wouldn't train Goku because he was an idiot? Well, the thing is, though, Whis isn't really judging about intelligence. So long as they're strong, he finds them cute. And actually, in a way, he kind of thinks they are idiots already. Because he's incredibly intelligent. So in the grand scheme of things, Saiyans are dum-dums. Even Vegeta, to him, is a dum-dum. He's just one of the smarter ones. He's just a slightly smarter dum-dum.
Yeah, his little monkeys.
Yes, Vegeta may be having a big brain for a Saiyan, but in the grand scheme of things, he's still a bit of a simpleton. Okay, John Coleman. What if Master Roshi met the twisted trio of High School DxD?
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no.
No.
Oh god, no. I saw a bit of High School DxD back in the day when it was brand new. Hard to imagine it's still going after a decade. Like, who would have thought that series would still be going? Like, seriously, they still make anime for that. It's like, wow. Okay. Credit where credit's due there.
I may think about many reasons.
Well, actually, we haven't played this sound
I'm sorry,
yet.
that's a new one.
We haven't played the new one sound today, so there you go. Basically, oh, man. Can you, like... Oh, put Rias Gramori and Roshi in the same room. She would probably lap that up in a way. Because... I don't know. It's like... Yeah, Roshi become... It's like, I don't know. Her is too big, man. That's right. And I hope you ain't lactose intolerant. And stuff like that. You know. They play off with each other, actually. Because Rias is, like, so in control of stuff. Paparazza. What if an upgraded mercenary tower was part of the attack 9 miles off of South City? Oh, man. So basically, it'd be one of those things where it'd be so funny. Like, it would be, like, mercenary tower was just the starter. Like,
Yeah.
it'd be just like the starter thing, like a decoy. Like, Gero would use mercenary tower as a decoy. Like, that kind of stuff. So surely by that time, Gero would have gotten some intel that, you know, his plan had been rumbled. So it would have certainly been one of those interesting situations.
That like good day.
Well, either
Even
way.
if Gero improved him, I don't think he would bother with improving him that much.
Maybe just like a token refinement of what he already had. Something token, that kind of stuff. Just to say he has his stamp on him. Alright. Hunt 2120. What if Gohan was the first Super Saiyan God instead of Goku? Basically, I would say that if he were, that fight would have been very interesting, but I think Beerus would have not been happy. Because this is not the Super Saiyan God that he dreamt of. So he would basically... He would play around with Gohan for a bit, end it, and then basically demand Goku get the power.
Yeah, because like Gohan has different demand, or he would try to, you know, finish the battle. He would be much more dramatic about the whole thing. And I think Beerus like the whole playfulness, so he would no, it's not like okay, you can throw a punch, kid, but
you're not the one I'm here for, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the kind of thing. So, basically... Alright, the first, next one... Yeah, no, Jesse, we've only now just got to the ones that have actually just started at the start of the stream. It took a long time, but we were getting there. Okay. Todd Howard is... What if Super 17 won his first encounter with Super Saiyan 4 Goku? Where exactly would his journey go? Probably to a hairdresser's. And everyone would think he has fabulous hair. He's a good-looking boy, Super 17, that's for sure. But just a shame that his story was not as attractive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I need a hairdresser. My hair is...
Well, I was lucky that Philly was able to do a decent job on my hair. Like... Especially, it's very foreboding when your wife has some scissors in the kitchen and she's about to do your hair and she goes, I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm like, Nani the frick? I'm just like, oh no. Oh no. I'm going to end up bald. Yes, but no, actually it turned out okay. It turned out alright. I still have my square hair, so that's good. But yeah, no, haircuts are seriously becoming a problem. Seriously, for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Oh dear. But in answer to your question, Todd, seriously, if Super 17 won, then you'd have had Dr. Mew just like winning out and stuff. Like it didn't work out with Baby, but with Super 17 it did. All that stuff.
Villains won and Super 17, he might eventually turn on.
Yeah, but there's no guarantee that he would do that in a timely manner.
Yeah, but in the end we would have probably similar Ravage future to the one that we've seen, you know, in the Future Trunks timeline. But like I feel that we would have, you know, the undead villains warring over Earth, you know.
Yeah, no, that's about right in my mind. Purple Heart Neptune. What if the Goku, Yamcha, and Krillin were trained by Master Shin instead of Master Roshi? If they were, they would certainly become assassins for a start. So basically, they would have probably been underhanded assassins, and they would have been doing his bidding. Master Shen would have been basically their boss instead of their master, and that kind of stuff. So, I would play the sound. Okay, right, okay, so we're just like working out in terms of like the cutoff. So basically, We might go for another half an hour. Depends on how we. Depends really.
Yeah.
Depends on how we feel, but we will let you know. We will give you at least a few minutes warning. Nate the Gamer, the sound. That sound basically means, in short, whatever happens in that what if would not be good for our dragon team. That's what that means.
Yep.
And I love the fact in the comments now, people just go, I'm expecting the sound to play because it's the sound. So, okay. Ben Reitz, what if Cooler was replaced Frieza in the story? Well, we did kind of go over this a little bit earlier, but in short, basically Cooler would be a lot less predictable than Frieza. Depending on
it's like less predictable. It's 50-50 chance. Either no Saiyans at all or Saiyans still being part of his
that's what I'm saying. I meant like less unpredictable. As in like still a little bit of uncertainty, but there's still, likely he probably follow his father's footsteps. Hunt 2120. What if King Piccolo survived after splitting with Junior? Or spitting out Junior? If he was able to survive, he probably would have slunk off for a while and like pretend to play dead, that kind of stuff. Basically, we're looking at something that really kind of interesting and curious. Like he would have eventually found his son, but probably would have molded him into his own image in some way. So yeah, so I think probably much he would have tried to make sure that Piccolo Jr. would have pretty much stayed in a model of his own image.
Maybe he would rebel in the end, like go find a way to get on his ambition.
Yeah, ultimately. So potentially. Yeah. So potentially he could do that. Like, but there would have been that left peril. So maybe at the tournament, Piccolo's just like, King Piccolo's like, I'm like, son, do my thing. And then Piccolo Jr. kind of like ignores him, say, what are you doing? Do it. And it's like, forget this, old man. And basically blasts him. So like, Piccolo does that kind of whole thing, like, that kind of stuff. So that would have been kind of fun. But yeah. Alright, Column, what if Cell's kamikaze gave him amnesia? Kamikaze. Oh, the explosion thing. So basically, if they gave him amnesia, he'd probably just be like floating around in the other world in the remnants of King Kai's planet. And that kind of stuff. Just like wandering around not knowing what to do. Goku would have
found Snake Way.
He would have found Snake Way. He would have found Goku and King Kai. It's like, excuse me, gentlemen, I have no idea who I am or where I'm from. Can you help me, please? And then they would just think it's a trick.
Yeah.
But here comes the hijinks and all that kind of stuff.
I don't know how I am, but I feel like I have a mighty fine.
Yeah, so... Is it... Am I going to be the one to tell him? No, let's just roll along with this King Kai. Oh, okay, gotcha. It's kind of funny seeing him being adult. That kind of stuff. Noob Source. What if Bardock was saying a Saiyan General instead of Nappa? What kind of changes would that make? It probably would have depended on how he got that. So basically, if he superseded Nappa in being Vegeta's carer, like, Vegeta would still compare him to Nappa all the time. Like, you're nowhere near as good as Nappa. You used to be a low-class warrior. Whereas it's implied that Nappa was always a mid-class warrior. Or mid-class Saiyan. It's always implied that he was. Whereas Bardock would have risen his way up the ranks. There would have still been that resentment between himself and Vegeta. Like, a lot of rebelling and a lot of resentment, that kind of stuff. Nowhere near as...
You're not my real dad.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. KS, what if Goku and Vegeta went to Earth together? Vegeta would have acted as the older brother, because he is literally older, for a start. And probably would have, like, guided Goku, probably made him his lackey and all that kind of stuff. You'd have had the Vegeta-Nappa dynamic just with Goku instead of Nappa. That's long and the short of it. Yeah. Robmar34. What if Goku and Raditz were sent to Earth together? Okay. So if they were sent together, then you would have had Raditz, again, acting like the older brother, but him being the cautious kind of person, not necessarily destroying the planet or ravaging it, but at least just trying to survive without the influence of Frieza, that kind of stuff. So I think they would have eventually just laid low. But with Goku and Vegeta, little less predictable. Depends on how well they have and stuff like that. Column, what if Goku and Gohan Potara fused in the Buu Saga, but it was permanent? Chi-Chi would have a fit. That's for a start. What happened to marrying Videl? How is this going to happen? And all that kind of stuff. And eventually, Chi-Chi would have basically had a full-on rant at Shin. You guys, you basically destroyed my family. How dare you? You better fix this and stuff. So Shin would have had to do everything in his power to try and find a way to fix it.
Dragon Balls.
They would have found out about the Dragon Balls, fixing it and stuff like that.
Yeah. Hijinks.
Hijinks. Anime Guy 01. What if Arale was in the Tournament of Power? Universe 7 would have won in the first 2 minutes. Boom. Gag character. Break the stadium in half. Arale goes up to Jiren. Jiren is like asleep. Arale just punches his head off.
I feel like I would feel it will go in a different way. Like Jiren, will find her hearing. This little creature made me appreciate life. I give up. I don't want to hurt such a precious little thing. Like that whole. I think that would be much funnier.
No, okay, that's fair enough. Okay, I'll give you that. Yeah, okay. All right. Artex GTM. Hey guys, you really inspired me to drawing fan art. Well, that's cool, Artex. But what if Raditz reincarnated as a second daughter of Gohan, and Nappa reincarnation as Yamcha's son? Well, Yamcha. Well, basically, if in our school of thought, a reincarnation has the backwards name of the person who was incarnated. So basically, for Nappa, it would have been Appan. And for Raditz, it would have been Zetida. And stuff like that. Pan and Zetida. Like, they'd have an amazing hairline. And the hair would have been very reminiscent of Raditz. And Nappa would have had a goatee at the age of 8.
Yeah.
Hey, Papa! I can fly. And they're in the car. Hey, Papa, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
He would become a child model.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that kind of stuff. Oh, and Mark. What if Raditz took Gohan? Okay, so if he did take Gohan, I feel like eventually he would have taken him back to, like, Vegeta and Nappa. They'd have found him a curiosity and all that stuff. Goku and Piccolo would have had to, like, team up and, like, find some way to follow Raditz in some way. Like, maybe...
Something is Gohan is young enough, to be converted, and he might, like, very easily influence.
Either that, or they use the Dragon Balls to teleport him back.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah. So that would probably be that one thing, but basically that would have made Raditz go and get Vegeta and Nappa, and they would have all come back together. So you'd have had 3 Saiyans against them. Column, what if Saiyan's tails always regrew? Well, you'd have had to constantly probably remove the tails in a way. But at the same time, I feel like it would have become an anachronism in a way, because it kind of like becomes less and less relevant with Super Saiyans and stuff. But if they did regrow, then probably with Gohan, you'd have to constantly, routinely, like remove it. So I think that's pretty much the way it would go.
Yeah, it would be used for hijinks. Another word of today.
Hijinks is another word of the day.
Anarchistic hijinks.
There you go.
That's the title of today's episode.
Yeah, touche. Anime Guy 01. What if Yamcha and Launch got married? Oh man, that would have been a very topsy-turvy relationship, I would say. Like, Yamcha would have been a yes husband. Stuff like that.
I think he ultimately would be happy because she could steer him in a good direction, but a lot of work to do.
Yeah, he's a bit of a fixer-upper, but that's a minor thing. Yeah. Colin, what if Good Boo had motivation to train? Well, you'd have seen that. We'd have had Skinny Boo. He probably would have actually been quite enthusiastic and stuff. He probably would have required lots of naps, so you'd have had to probably time his naps very carefully. So, probably like that, I would say. Robmar asking, so his idea is good? Yeah, no, I mean, the whole Goku Raditz thing is a very solid idea, and we've had that many times before, so it's a very tried and tested idea. So, we do like that idea, Robmar. Thank you. Alex Casillas. Can we have a what if tournament one day? Like Good Nappa versus Good Raditz, Good Cell versus Good Broly, etc. Aha! Well, you know the whole Tournament to Power Bingo tournament thing we've been doing? Well, let's just say we'll do another one of those in the future, but we'll bring it closer to home. We'll bring it closer to home, if you know what I mean. That kind of stuff. Okay, so watch this space, Alex. Nick Wolf, what if Trojan from the What If Frieza Turned Good fought Boo in Droidy Boy Z? Since Trojan's first form is as strong as Frieza's final form, would Boo appear sooner in the story? Well, the thing is, though, they haven't got... They're nowhere near Earth yet. So, at the moment, it's all happening in space. And it's all basically just becoming a family drama, essentially. The only reason that Trojan exists is to kill Frieza. Pretty much. That's why he's there. And for King Cold to stroke his own ego. Pretty much. And I still need to get that proper design. Seriously. But yeah, so I imagine probably there are going to be loads of twists in some way to prove that Frieza was the pinnacle. And ironically, Frieza ends up being the most superior cold person of them all. Ironically. But I don't want to give too much away yet. I have written part 6. So part 6 is happening. And I do like where it's going. I can imagine this little series being about at least 10 parts, I think. We can have 10. Because the Android Saga is barely figuring in this so far. And I'm loving it. Okay. Red Dragon Force 2. What if Caulifla met Gotenks? Super Saiyan 3 secrets, maybe? Oh yeah, no, Gotenks would probably teach her how Super Saiyan 3. And that kind of stuff, but not tell her about the energy drain. And that kind of stuff. So it's like... He would use that to his advantage of knowing about the energy drain, but she doesn't.
You know, yeah. I don't even like the thing with Gotenks. I don't even think that he to like properly explain to her how he does it.
Oh no! Like... He would, but he wouldn't. He would omit certain facts, and like, ha ha! You fell into my trap. Super Saiyan 3's really, really bad when it comes to energy management. Ha ha! I fooled you. He'd be an obnoxious little sod about it. He wouldn't do it out of kind. He would do it just to mess with her. Anime Guy 01. What if Yamcha was female? Would she have a fear of men in the beginning? Would she maybe get with Ten Shinhan and get married? Would she train harder?
I'm sorry, that's a new one.
Okay, we get a lot of what if female, but never Yamcha. Okay. I would say maybe she would have a very timid fear of men. So it's not like a fear per se, but it's very timid. And I think Ten Shinhan would be the most straightforward one of all, because all the men that she would have met would be really, like, seedy and stuff like that. But Ten Shinhan would be the most straightforward, I would say. So, yeah, if you know, they did, then maybe Ten Shinhan and female Yamchet. So, or Yamchi, maybe, that kind of stuff. So, I think she would apply herself better. Out of admiration for Ten Shinhan. Training partner. Dark Cloud Alpha. What if Paragus successfully saved Broly? They aren't stuck on Vampa. What would Super Paragus and Broly do compared to their original counterparts? Well, with Broly seemingly much more, like, stable in this version of Super, I feel like they would basically try and lay low and just try and live a decent normal life. But, yeah, so long as they, you know, he would still make the collar and stuff like that, but they could probably have a better chance at, you know, living a decent life, that kind of stuff. Much more
as long as, like, if Frieza would...
So long as Frieza doesn't find them. That kind of stuff. Craig Twitcher, what if the Dragon Balls couldn't do the same exact wish twice? Oh, I'm playing the sound.
We had a similar thing, right? I think we did that one.
No, that was what if the Dragon Balls couldn't resurrect people.
Yeah.
Because I've done a what if about that, but that would mean they would have to rephrase their wishes every time they do it. Oh yeah, Andres Moreira, sorry about the female Yamcha stuff. They all tend to blur together, so sorry about that, Andres. But either way, it is a relatively new one, considering we get a lot. But yeah, they would have to rephrase their wishes carefully, and then Shenron would have to go like, well, technically you didn't wish for the same thing twice, so as you wish. that kind of stuff. They'd have to be very careful with what words they chose. So it's certainly that. Okay, Colin, here's a bit of an outlandish idea. Okay. So, in the Frieza saga, what if Sadala was in Universe 7 and was the original destination of the Ginyu Force instead of Yardrat?
Oh, in What If Ginyus?
Oh, right, yes. So if it was Sadala, probably they would have just ended up being like, yeah, minions of the Saiyan police, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like part of their public relations department. You know, they go around to schools and basically say, "All right, kids, how you want to join the Saiyan police? Well, it's an absolute Bobby Dazzler." It's like, "Yes, with our help, you will speed your way up the ranks."
And Guldo would be the unenthusiastic one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They say, "And I'm the. You think all cops are good? I'm the bad cop of the group." "Yes, seriously, he's really bad. I'm working on it. Jeez." That's his catchphrase. "I'm working on it." That stuff. And so, apart from Goldo, he's a jerk. JK, what if Earthlings became, xenophobic after the Saiyan saga? Well, it kind of reminds me in a way of Doctor Who, like with Torchwood at the end of season 2. Like, the whole idea, if it's alien, it's ours. And that's the one thing I loved about the first Christmas special with Tennant. Like, basically, the Sarlaccs, they run away, but then the Earthlings basically just destroy them anyway. And, you get the whole, "Oh, doesn't she look tired?
Yeah.
Don't you think she looks tired?" I like how I can bring you down with 6 words.
Yeah.
That was really cool. But basically, it'd be just like, after the Saiyans, they basically would prepare themselves, and if any kind of alien thing, they would basically form a power against it. So, certainly like that. Nick Wolf, in all seriousness, what if Cell couldn't instant transmission it's the best of both worlds? You can continue his story without interrupting the Dragon Team's progression. Well, it probably would have meant future Trunks would have survived, not needed to be revived or anything like that. Probably you would have had Cell roaming around in the other world and stuff, like causing havoc.
He would run, through Snake Way, like he would, join forces with Princess Snake.
That is until Pycon shows up.
Yeah.
They'd have wheeled out Pycon and stuff like that.
Yes, yeah, we would have Cell versus Pycon and...
Yeah, so basically you'd have had, the ending of the Cell arc only slightly sooner, and Trunks would have still been alive. Jesse Goff. What if King Kai taught Kami Kaioken before the events of Dragon Ball? I think he'd be hesitant to use it, but would teach the basics to Goku when he trained him. Well, the thing is, though, I don't think King Kai and Kami ever met. Kami only knew of King Kai, because that's what comes with the job. You have to at least know who's who. But it's like, King Kai is upper management of the galaxy, of North Galaxy. And, Kami is middle management. He's the head of a department, as it were.
Yeah, as we know, he wants it to make, basically like a company, so like, they don't personally know the CEO, so probably he just knows. He answers to if somebody goes really, really weird.
Yeah, but at the most part, they don't often interact. But if he did talk Kami Kaioken, I don't think Kami would actually be able to demonstrate it. He would know the theory. Let's say that. He would at least know the theory.
Yep.
Ivan Hunter, what if Shenron was freed from the Dragon Balls? So basically, if they wished for him to be free.
In GT, he was. He kind of was.
Yeah, he kind of was.
Connected.
So basically, if he had that, and it meant that the Dragon Balls were no longer tied to him fully, and he had control of the Dragon Balls directly, he probably would have actually left Earth and stuff like that. He would have just become his own entity, wandering the stars, stuff like that. Maybe finding a new home.
He would go to the Dragon Con.
DragCon. Nice. Janks Angel, What if magic was a bigger force in the universe of Dragon Ball? Well, it would certain things make things a lot more interesting. You'd have the Moro arc all the time. Just magic. Again, certainly a lot more stakes, different kinds of energy, making things less predictable. So that's always
and magical-oriented character in the main cast.
There you go. You'd have had to have some kind of mage in your party. A Dark Cloud Alpha. What if Launch was 17's mysterious wife? Oh man! Imagine if that were true. You could have changed that. Like 17 shows a picture of Launch to Goku, and Goku goes like, "What? I know her." But then again, Super Goku is so dumb he'd have forgotten about Launch. It's like, oh yeah, that kind of reminds me of someone I used to know. Oh, what's her name? Launch? Oh, that's a cute name. Anyway, why don't you join the team? And stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
you would have had like super antics. I love the music that Totally Not Mark plays whenever Super Goku's mentioned. Like that, the kazoo. Just like the kazoo playing. Like, yeah, it's Chosetsu Dynamic, but on the kazoo. I love that whenever. Just like. All that kind of stuff. It's funny. Because it's true. Super Goku is really stupid. Craig Twitchell, what if you had to wait 2 to 5 years between wishes? Oh man, you'd have to pack in a lot of wishes within your own one wish in terms of phrasing the sentence.
This baby can take so many wishes.
Yeah, exactly, but I would have to play the sound.
Yeah.
In short, not good for Dragon Ball. They'd have to find someone who's really good at phrasing stuff in one sentence for multiple things. Tempest Mars 1000. Afternoon. Afternoon to you too, Tempest. Inspired by Kakarot's DLC and my old super theory. What if Goku upheld his promise from Battle of Gods? Vegeta first goes God after against Champa pre-resurrection of F. So basically, if like Vegeta's the first one to do it. Again, I need to actually really look at the DLC myself, but like if Vegeta first goes Super Saiyan God, so basically, you know, if Vegeta gets to do everything first, well, it would actually make Goku somewhat decent and actually keeps his promise.
Yeah.
For a start. So there you go. Soda Pop. What if Goku and Gohan switch places? Gohan is dad. Okay, so basically, say for example, Gohan is the main character, marries Chi-Chi, isn't actually Chi-Chi's son or anything like that, but Goku is that kind of thing. I feel like basically, they probably would be studying, maybe a bit of training just in a sense of like kind of, you know, clearing your mind and stuff like that. But ultimately, I feel like, you know, Goku would have basically been told to do his homework a lot.
Yeah, like upbringing, like Goku would be more like, I think, a little bit good-hearted but rebellious against, like he would have that, you know, that trope of a smart child who's, you know, related to a genius, you know. He would have like, yeah, again, Rick and Goku situation.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Robmer34. I think we did your thing of what if Goku and Raditz were sent to Earth together, so we did do that. But suffice to say, Raditz being the cautious person, they probably would have just like laid low, probably embraced the fact that they were free, that kind of stuff. So I think they would have ultimately kind of like laid low and try and like stay on Earth, wait till the heat's off and that kind of stuff. Hunt2120. What if Buu absorbed Goku instead of Gohan and Gohan Potara fused with Vegeta to get Gohita? You'd have had a fusion that would have gotten the job done very quickly. Yeah, because Ultimate Gohan was pretty ruthless. Like no joking around or anything like that. Yeah, Buu would have been toast.
Yeah, with Vegeta's ruthlessness, oh boy.
Yeah, and Ultimate Gohan being really cocky and that kind of stuff. The cocky ruthlessness. Oh my god, you'd have had Buu would have been toast. Buu would have been so done. And yeah, granted, everyone inside of them would have been like completely destroyed, but they could wish them back with the Dragon Balls. So that kind of stuff. Nick Dunny, what if Turles turned good? Okay, so basically, instead of the fruit of the tree of might, it actually enlightens you in a way, so you kind of realize everything is wrong. I imagine Goku would still want to fight Turles, but at least the stakes would be nowhere near as perilous. Let's just say that.
You know, and the problem with writing Careless is that he kinda is, like, he's kinda bad Goku. Dark version of Goku
Dark
mixed with
me.
Vegeta. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Mixed
is
with
basically
Vegeta,
just...
which is kinda, you know, like characteristic. So he would be like a very, very bland cop out.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. Yeah. Okay. Right. Next one. Next one would be is Podo. What if Beerus was a doggo instead of a cat? Probably would be more likely to be friends with people, because dogs like being friends with people.
There would be gags with tossing a ball.
Oh yeah. No, if Beerus ever got grumpy, Whis would just throw a bone. Stuff like throw a toy.
Or Goku would probably throw a stick during the fight with them to get his attention.
Oh my god, can you imagine that? That is classic Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Craig Twitchell's next. What if Dragon Ball utilized dual monsters for combat instead of martial arts? What would everyone's deck be? Goku's would be martial artists for a start. Gohan probably like book themed, like literature.
Pilaf would have Pot of Greed.
Pot of Greed. And he'd be the only character who actually knew how it worked. Yeah. Vegeta probably would just try and copy Goku's deck, but make it slightly better in his own way. So, just trying to one up Goku and stuff like that. You'd have a Yugi Kaiba thing with Goku and Vegeta, pretty much. All right. Jesse Goff. What if Goku rejected his Saiyan identity after Namek? Instead of relying on Super Saiyan, he pushed Kaioken, Spirit Control, and trained with more aliens and deities. I think it would have been a really foolish thing for him to do, because it was part of his story arc. John Skelton, yes, I am part of Team 4-Star. I'm the guy who voices Goku. And Gohan as well. But basically, if Goku... If he didn't rely on Super Saiyan, Vegeta would have. And then when it realized that if Vegeta realized that he wasn't relying on Super Saiyan Goku, then, yeah, he would have won. He would have become the dominant person. Because I don't think any amount of Kaioken and Spirit Control would have been beaten Super Saiyan. At that time. At that time, though. Craig Twitchell asks, what if Little Karibo wrote Dragon Ball? There'd be a lot more of, there'd be a lot more kind of, like, jokes about Goku being silly and all that kind of stuff. And Roshi would be Pegasus.
And there would be some times that would happen in America.
And Goku would always wear leather pants.
Yeah.
And stuff. Alpha165. What if King Piccolo tried to take over the world and Deirdre stopped him, or someone like Vivek would clap him?
Oh my gosh, again, Elder Scrolls. Well, like, Daedra would stop him easily, yeah, like, nothing much to say, like, he would fail it, but, like, Daedra, you know, they don't like to work directly, they like to work through peers. And Vivek would do it just because he can show off and tell about the story, you know? Because, like, one of my favorite quotes about Vivek comes from Sota Seal from Elder Scrolls Online Clockwork City. Spoiler. Basically, that Vivek wants to be everyone, but can be only Vivek. So he would be kinda interested in Namekian. So probably he would watch King Piccolo for a while and toy with him. He would end him because he's kind of ruthless at the end of the day.
Okay. Well, that sounds like a kind of a good addition, but I'm still blown away by the whole Elder Scrolls thing with everyone. It's kind of interesting and fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, this one's actually specifically for you, Havrog. This one.
Oh.
Todd asks, being like Cyrus the Restless could use the power of the Hoonding to defeat King Piccolo. Hoonding being literally make way.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Oh, and by the way, hey Pip. Pip and I are working on something. We're keeping it on the download now, but just watch his channel maybe in the next few months. Let's just say that. But yeah, Haverock, what do you reckon? Have you got something?
Yeah. Like, I vaguely remember, like, Cyrus is the one from Redguard, right? Like, Redguard is one of the few games that I haven't played. So, unfortunately, I'm not as knowledgeable in Redguard, you know.
Yeah, sorry about that, Todd. But maybe you and Haverock can like talk about this afterwards and stuff like that. If you have Twitter, just like check out Havelock_Grave and you can have a chat there.
Yep.
Podo? Oh, this is another Skyrim thing. How would the events of Skyrim DB go for Goku? Like the events of Skyrim.
Goku would probably go and fight Alduin. No need to send him back into time. Alduin can just, punch him. Goku can just punch him out and probably defeat him. As for the civil war, I think like Goku would make them realize that Talmor are the true bad guys, and both sides have their merits.
Okay. Well, there you go. There's your answer then, people. Michael Law, what if Universe 6 and 7 became one Universe 6.5 after a tie in the Universe Tournament arc? Let's say the Bros and Brosis have to work together. There'd have to be maybe some way of, like, maybe they join forces and stuff like that. But I feel like it was sort of a tie. They called it a draw in the end. But ultimately, I think maybe with Beerus, yeah, he kind of still claimed the win. But let's just say they decided to basically just pool their efforts. So instead of having Team Universe 6 and 7, they basically fielded a team of, like a combined team. And there is nothing against the rules for for doing that. And I feel like, Zeno would have just gone like, okay, cool, that's fine. And stuff. He'd have rolled with it. But basically you would have had like, maybe, it would have... But then again, it would have just been nearly all Saiyans. Like, you'd have had Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Caulifla, Kaba, Kale. 6 Saiyans, at the very least. Hit.
Probably Hit and 3 Namekians.
Hit, Salnal, Pilina, and Piccolo. That's it.
Yeah.
Wow, so much range.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it would have really not been interesting in that sense. Captain Lugi, what if future Piccolo fused with Kami? Okay. Oh, so basically if you had Kamikolo. So basically if they decided to do it, which I'm very surprised they didn't do. Because knowing that they could do that, well, if they did, that would have been the end of that. Because Kamikolo would have destroyed 17 and 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, ultimately. Especially with help. Especially with Trunks and Gohan helping him. They'd have done it. So, there's your answer. Red Dragon Force 2. What if Gohan used a loophole for the Super Saiyan God ritual by having all 6 Saiyans share their energy with each other? Giving 6 Super Saiyans, including Pan, after birth. So basically just giving people Saiyan energy to claim, oh, that guy's a Saiyan. Like, Yamcha, have some Saiyan ki. It's like, oh man, I get to be a Saiyan, awesome. And then just for shiggles, Yamcha turns into a Super Saiyan for a second. I'd watch that. And I would laugh my head off.
Poor Yamcha. Torturing poor Yamcha feels like an overkill.
That's what they do in Super. I just keep going, stop, he's already dead. It's like, why? Just like, why do that to him, guys? Stop.
At least Toyotaro gave him some.
Yeah, at least Toyotaro did. Somebody had to. Like, seriously, they had to, or else it would have just been so bad. I'd have felt so sorry for him, oh my god. Okay. Captain Lugi again. What if Goten and Gohan were twins? Well, you'd have probably just... They are very two distinct people. So I feel like, Gohan would have been the one that Chi-Chi studied, and I think Goten would have been the one that Goku would have trained. So basically, I think Goku would have been a bit less resistant to Gohan training, to Gohan studying. Gohan would have been the bookworm, Goten would have been the one that Goku would have trained with. So probably it would have eased tension, let's say that. Soulless one, what if Goku was sent to Namek instead of Earth? We've had this quite a few times. But basically, Goku would be their kind of like mascot in a way. It would have been a very plant-rich, high-fiber diet. Let's just say that. Drinking lots of water probably would have been very not ideal for his growth and stuff, but it would have been comfortable. It would have been nice, friendly, all that stuff. Very learned. Dark Snake. What if Dragon Ball Super was high school like, with the Gods of Destruction being college students and Zeno the dean? Oh my god, you'd have such a chaotic dean. Oh my god. He'd be the one blowing the budget on everything and then basically axing departments for no reason.
He would be like Dumbledore in those sketches, those comics that Prozidi lent his voice for.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, exactly like this.
Yeah, the Gods of Destruction. If you want to become part of them, you have to go through a hazing. All that kind of stuff. Oh man. The sororities are all the different universes.
Yeah.
Captain Luigi, what if humans could get Zenkais? Well, it would certainly make things a lot more even, that's for sure. And it would also really go to the theory that basically humans and Saiyans originated from the same being, but they just evolved into a different species. That'd have been cool. That would have definitely been cool, and it would certainly level out the playing field, that's for sure. APC, what if King Cold never found the Saiyans? Well, it would have been a lot of dull. That would have been dull, that's for sure.
Question is, if he was the one to move the Saiyans from... Like, they would probably die out of Sadala if we think Cold was somehow involved in moving them to Vegeta.
Yeah.
But if not, like, they would probably... probably somebody would... they would piss Galactic Patrol enough that the Galactic Patrol would go after them.
Yeah.
It wouldn't end pretty.
It wouldn't have ended well for the Saiyans, ultimately. Because I think the Galactic Patrol would have just wanted to, like, nip them in the bud.
Because remember, all the, like, some of the technologicals they probably got from Tafels, the ones that they have. But a lot of things that were provided comes from the Cold Force, including basic stuff like armor and...
Yeah. No, yeah. Red Dragon Force 2. Any chance of continuing What If Trunks was stuck in the past during the Android saga? Unless that's a one-shot. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that was definitely a one-shot. I kind of wanted to just keep it as a one-shot. So, unfortunately, that is the case. Insane Australian TJC. What if Vegeta decided to sow his oats getting hundreds worldwide pregnant to reclaim his race? Oh, man. He'd have been like a Viking, just ravishing people. It would have not been pretty. I'd be like, oh god, oh jeez. He'd have had to have like some kind of vetting process and stuff like that. But man,
Chingy's Jits. But yeah, the problem is that, you know, the genetic makeup would be pretty limited. No, I don't want to think about it.
Also, you'd have had load of baby Uzarus who would have completely destroyed the planet. So you'd have... I'm just going to play the...
I'm sorry, that's a new one.
As well as the sound. You get both. You get both for that. That is both a new one and destructive for Earth. But also really, really surreal. I will give you that. APC. What if Beerus didn't allow Frieza to destroy Planet Vegeta? So basically, if Beerus did his job, Frieza probably wouldn't have had a whole thing of the superstition of the legendary Super Saiyan, because if Beerus just did it, he probably would have just like moved on to his next project. Beerus would say, "Don't worry about them, Frieza, I'll deal with it." All that stuff. And Frieza would have just moved on to other things. WT Sans. Here's two to choose from, so take your pick. What if Goku had his potential unleashed by Elder Kai? Or, what if Mai shot the Potara of Black's ear? Ooh, good question. I think we can quickly do both. First one, what if Mai actually took out the Potara earring? Well, a few Zamasu wouldn't have happened, because basically Zamasu destroyed all the other Kais and stuff like that, so no more Potara. So the only way he could have made it work is if they see Gowasu from the past come to join them, and he basically steals them. So that's the only way you get it back. But for a long time, it would have thrown Zamasu into a panic. Certainly. And with Goku Potential Unleashed, oh, he'd have hated it. Ultimate Goku, he would have hated it because he didn't earn it. He'd have thought that that 25 hours of sitting down was the beginning of his training, not the entire training. So, yeah, no, Goku would have certainly been very, very annoyed by it. So, it wouldn't have ended well. Unsung Hero, you guys make my day great work during the pandemic, so here's a what if. Oh, thanks, Unsung Hero, we do our best.
Thank you.
What if the Flying Nimbus never existed? Well, okay, a lot of things would have taken a lot longer to get to. So when Goku was trying to avenge Krillin, trying to get there in time, like, I think King Piccolo would have been able to, like, do a little bit more damage before Goku would have been able to, like, jump in. Like, how else would he have been able to get there? Like, he can't fly. He'd have had to go by road or by plane. But there's no guarantee that they would have been able to do that. I'm just going to play the sound. With King Piccolo, they would have had to be more strategic. And I think Goku might have ended up being, like, you know, having to sacrifice himself. Red Dragon Force 2 says on behalf of Augustus, what if Good Boy Nappa and the Goku Bulma married thing got together? Oh, so basically if those worlds collided, basically, it'd be very, very curious about that. But I think they get along.
Goten would have very complicated feelings. This universe's Gohan, considering on his relationship with Bula.
Oh yeah, oh that is certainly very true. Yeah, very conflicting relationship certainly. But Nappa would have still been best uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah. DB Dubs, what if Guru wished for youth before the Namek saga? Oh, it's like, Nail! I feel absolutely fantastic. I can sing like I did when I was just in the theatrics. Ah! There I have sung. Was it good? Yes, Lord Guru. Excellent. Now, let us begin phase 2 of the genocide! The albino Namekians, if there were any surviving, they would have not stood a chance.
Yep.
Guardian Tree. What if Piccolo's brothers got revived due to poor wording of the wish that revived the others? They train with Piccolo for the 23rd tournament. Kami wishes for youth and trains all of Goku's allies in prep. So, okay, Kami becomes young. You basically get Symbol, Tambourine, and stuff like that. You'd have gotten the revenge of Krillin versus Tambourine. And I think Krillin would have won. That would have been good catharsis, certainly.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But I think Krillin could have spared Tambourine, which could later work with his.
You know, but he would have
of
won.
Vegeta.
He would have defeated him in the tournament.
Yes,
but then
of
ultimately, he probably would have like let him go.
I'm better than you. I'm the Krill Dog, the paragon of justice.
It's like, I'm not gonna stoop to your level. So, you certainly would have had that. Red Dragon Force 2. What if Oob was taken in by Nam before meeting Goku? Well, he would have certainly had a much more sage thing, and there's no reason to say why he wouldn't have. Because
he's trained by King Chappa. Right?
Yeah, King Chappa, but probably would have ended up meeting Nam sooner or later.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that would have been really cool, having Nam and King Chappa as, like, you know, honorary, like, trained masters and parents and stuff. That'd have been cool. That'd have been pretty cool to see. Okay, APC, a discussion idea. Who is the smartest in the world? Bulma, Dr. Gero, or Dr. Slump? Oh, Bulma, without question.
Bulma. Yep.
Bulma may be probably just as intelligent as Gero, but she applies herself better, and she has the better resources. So it's like a tiebreaker. So,
and also she's a protagonist, which is a huge boost in those types of stories.
Yeah, certainly. John Coleman, what if Goku was half angel? So basically, Gine is an angel. Aww. We all think she's a darling angel. But if he were, that would have made Whis very interested. So basically, if he was, Whis would have taken an interest in him right from the start when he was born. Like, this is the first time that's ever happened. He doesn't tell the Grand Priest about this, but the Grand Priest already knows about it for the longest time, but just lets it happen. You know, Whis has got it under control. Whis is the one that he trusts the most out of all of his children. Because seriously, if he can control someone like Beerus, he's got to be worth something. Andres Morero, what if that mermaid fused with Bulma and combined Gero's tech with Hirudegan and the Cybermen? Special move is transforming into the area into Dragon Ball Atlantis. What?
I'm sorry, that's a new one.
That is a new one. What? So basically, you'd have had a fish Bulma, a fish scientist, and a giant robot kaiju that could then spit out Cybermen. That would have been awesome.
That's it, Pacific Booms.
Pacific Bulm. I mean, you'd have had Pacific Rim Dragon Ball style right there. That should have been the sequel to Pacific Rim. Seriously, Pacific Rim Uprising was really a disappointment. I mean, no Idris Elba, come on. John Coleman, what if Ranch met Guinea and Bardock? Oh, I know you guys want us to... You know what, I'm going to pull a Toriyama eventually, and Ranch is just walking down the street one time, meets someone like Guinea. Hey kid, you dropped something. Oh, thanks lady, bye. And just they walk off without acknowledging each other. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
I'll pull a Toriyama on you guys.
Yeah.
But in terms of that, Ranch, Bardock would have just been like, you know what, not bad. You know, it's kind of alright. Strong. Alright, I'm glad that Raditz actually amounted to something. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna say now super chats are closed. So we went a little bit longer because I was feeling a bit more energetic. But yeah, we need to remember it's been 2 hours now, so we're basically just we're gonna close it off. So please do not do any more super chats. Super chats will, basically we're kind of done now. So we're gonna just rattle through the last ones. We have got quite a few left, but we will go through these.
Yep.
All right, Red Dragon Force. What if Goku landed in Beach City? Well, Goku would have certainly kept Beach City weird. That's all I'll say. Goku probably would have been interested in crystal gems and stuff like that. Maybe as a curiosity. Because from space, they'd have probably thought maybe he was a plant from the crystal gem, from the diamond race and all that kind of stuff. So certainly something interesting. Toastma Ghost, addendum to my previous question. What if Kami was inspired by King Piccolo, aka Wish for Eternal Youth, and spawned children to function as potential replacement guardians, protectors of Earth? Well, I think probably Kami would have been able to, with more time, not make mutant children. So he probably would have had perfect clones or perfect Namekian babies. So probably would have had a group of peoples and stuff.
The thing is that I don't know if Kami would resort to nepotism because that's what it is.
No, but probably just there to act as overwatchers. So that'd be the people his eyes down on the ground and stuff like that.
Attendants.
Yeah, kind of like that. Not full on nepotism, of course.
Basically like angels.
Yeah, on a lower scale, pretty much. Okay. Yeah. Noob Source. What if Yajirobe beat Hercule in the World Martial Arts Tournament? I mean, in theory, he could. And to be honest, I'm surprised he never entered the tournament. He would have gotten loads of prize money to buy all
that food.
Yeah, no, he could have done that. Oh yeah, I could have done that. I just chose not to for their sake. I didn't want to kick their ass too much.
Is it because you're fat?
No. Okay, maybe a little. God of Legos. What if Future Piccolo made an egg just before dying to the androids as a last-ditch effort to keep Kami alive? Assuming he was able to do it discreetly. You know what? That could have actually been something that could have happened.
The question is he mature enough for this?
It's hard to say. Maybe there is some kind of prefix that as a last-ditch, it's like a survival thing. So maybe you can, but maybe it's not a perfect clone. It's like a mutant. Like a mutant baby and stuff like that.
I mean, it would be pretty cool for Gohan to taking care of Piccolo's son.
Yeah, that would have been a nice little plot twist.
Yeah.
Yeah, who's your daddy now? All that kind of stuff. Andres Morero. Why haven't the dinosaurs risen in rebellion against Gohan for all that he's done to them in the form of dino ghost robots thanks to Gero? Oh man, Dinobots. Dinobots in Dragon Ball, yes please. Oh my god. Android 17 riding a dinosaur. Riding a Dinobot. Oh god, he'd love that so much. Android 17 riding a Dinobot. I need fan art of that right now. That gives me life. Oh my god.
Yeah.
But honestly, that would have been a fun little side plot. Like, Dr. Gero testing the android powers and, like, android technology on dinosaurs.
And he actually accidentally loads the copy of his consciousness to one of the dinosaurs, like a pterodactyl, and you have a very well spoken and conniving dinosaur.
Oh, and then Red Dragon Force says, and you would teach that dinosaur to ride a ball.
Oh yes.
Oh, of course. How could I have not thought about that? That is very true. You are correct, Red Dragon. Alright, next one is Shaman05 line. What if non-canons like Cooler and Slug were Moro's subordinates? Piccolo gets a Sun God Namekian key introduction and gives Frieza character building. Oh no, well Frieza's basically said in the manga, oh, I'm not being part of that. Nope. Frieza's noped out of that one. Piccolo getting some kind of God Namekian key introduction, that would have been kind of cool. And it would have been funny to see Cooler, at least Cooler being a Moro subordinate. Led there to kind of just be undermined. He's just like, okay, sure.
I still think they may have some plans regarding Cooler on a later date.
I still think, and I think Haverock agrees with me, that basically, there will be that the next movie will surround Cooler in some way.
Yeah. Because you can easily do a Broly sequel in Cooler. Like again, if you guys are watching our, Kuriza, that's basically rehash of our Broly movie sequel. Yeah. Kuriza.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So that's pretty much what we want to do. Red Dragon, on behalf of L. Donald, what if Videl looked for the Z Fighters after the Cell games, finding them one by one from Yamcha until she found Gohan? Probably maybe just, got some hearsay and stuff like that from, her father and stuff like that. Maybe doing some research. Maybe, getting some way to, be able to find them one by one. That would have been kind of interesting. And then ultimately finding Gohan by the time they go to high school. She can't find the last one, and then she goes to high school and just, bumps into Gohan.
That
maybe she might have had it...
It reminds me that Nam King Master Yamcha in Kakarot.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Sorry, it would have been one of those kind of long adventures and stuff. Master Riku, what if ramen didn't exist in the Dragon Ball universe? Oh, I'm playing the sound. Beerus would have been one unhappy kitty, let's just say that.
Yep.
Yeah, so that would have not been good for our planet. Insane again, Australian TJC. Guys, just catch up with the what ifs. Let's catch up. P.S. Hope everyone is safe. P.P.S. The Saiyan pride lives in the hearts of every true warrior. Yeah, that is well supported, and thanks for the morale booster, Australian TJC. Very much obliged. Craig Twitchell, I couldn't find this in the last roundtable. What if Gine and Bardock were king and queen of all Saiyans, and Vegeta and his father were low-class warriors? I think I do remember this somewhat, but basically, yes. I think it's I think Bardock would have been a fair king. Like in my What If Bardock Convinced the Saiyans, if he was given power and authority, he would have looked for potential in people, regardless of what their class were. The class system would have been eradicated, pretty much.
And Vegetas would be they would be, I think...
The hangers-on to the old life and stuff like that?
They would be tryhards, like Vegeta would, clash a lot with the king, but ultimately they would unite against mutual enemies if they came.
Pretty much.
No,
I would agree with that, because basically they would be definitely tryhards. Shadovic, what if Broly was the Prince of all Saiyans? Oh man, if Broly turned out to be inadvertently the one true prince, then maybe that would have actually led to Paragus and stuff like that. Probably would have, probably much more benevolent king or something like that. Or maybe he would have passed it on to someone else. Not the kind of guy to rule, almost. Something like that. Torture Shark. Hey, Masako, I just love your what-ifs. Your videos are the best. Aw, thanks, Torture Shark. What if Bulma became or turned into an android? Well, if she were turned into an android, most likely, Gero would have probably kept that on the down low. Probably, program her to be some kind of mole to go to Capture Corp, steal their secrets, that kind of stuff, and then build upon them at a later date, I think. Probably not have been as overt in terms of power, but definitely have used her in terms of gaining information on the quiet, certainly. That's my opinion. Craig Twitcher, what if Dr. Gero and Dr. Wily teamed up? Oh, you'd have had the most insane duo ever, but also one of the ones that fail the most, based on their track records. Yeah. I know that Gero gets results, but basically he is the madcap scientist, and Dr. Wily would have just stroked his ego, and that would have been a bit of a detriment.
And he would get like most of his results when he's dead. But you know, we would have like, you know, they would have to unite to fund Dr. Wowie.
Dr. Wowie, yes, of course. Ozpin.
Find Dr. Wowie. Mega Man.
I know, Mega Man. Ozpin. What if Universe 6 won the Universe 7 tournament and Universe 7's Earth was moved to Universe 6? Who do you think would make up Universe 6's team in the Tournament of Power, and how would they fare? You probably would have just had, like, similar to what we had before. Like, 6 Saiyans, 3 Namekians, and Hit. That would have been the team. But they would have all been in Universe 6. The mortal level of Universe 6 would have been higher. Universe 7 would have been dead last. Pretty much. They would have been erased. Beerus would have not been a happy kitty. Michael Law, Masako, would you ever rap on one of Rustich's ciphers? It would be kind of cool to see. Ah, well, funny you should say that. Watch this space. Let's just say that. Shadovic, what if Bardock was king of the Saiyans? Well, we kind of literally just did that. But basically, benevolent king, removed the class system, kind of just actually believed in people's strengths and stuff. Connor Moffat, what if Piccolo had a son named Banjo?
I'm sorry, that's a new one.
Like he would make a friend with a bird named Kazooie.
Oh, Kazooie. Oh, yeah. Banjo plays the banjo, musical instrument. I like that name. That's a good name. Dragon Ball, Z Dragon Ball, I am 33, if you want to know. Craig Twitchell, what if you gender swapped everyone and it was not trashy fan service? Well, you'd have basically what if Goku was female? That's not trashy fan service. Basically, the mark of a good character is that it would work regardless of their gender and what they identify as. That's the good thing. A lot of the time, a good character is just a good character. Their personality. It doesn't really matter what's, what they have in, in the Trials department. That kind of stuff. Yeah. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, the changes would be pretty minor, like, with, depending certain roles. Like, for example, like Tien would, or Krillin wouldn't probably be monks, but more of like martial artists,
Yeah, exactly. Not really that much changes when you look at it. Craig,
mostly cosmetic ones, little details.
Yeah. Craig says what if Dragon Ball took place in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? Well, it depends. Honestly, it would have been better suited when basically Hamon was like the main drive of all the powers and stuff like that. So Saiyans instead of Ki would be basically learning in the arts of Hamon. So probably that would have made more sense. Dragon Ball in Part 2 would have been really good. Goku and Joseph, seriously. Goku and Joseph versus Cars. That would be really cool. Oh, no. Joseph, Joestar, and Yamcha. Because you get, Nigerundayo! Yamcha would say, right behind you, buddy! They'd have had the same tactics of running away. So, definitely. That would have been good. Joseph, Joestar, and Yamcha. Oh, that would have been good. Stephen Baker. What if Universe 7 brought Goku back to the Tournament of Power instead of Frieza? It would have taken a lot of convincing, probably. But ultimately, if Goku was able to find a way to get into Goku Black's side of being able to want to fight strong people and get their revenge on Zeno in a way, show them what he could do, maybe. It would have to take a lot of convincing. But powers, he would certainly be very good. He'd also have to stop Goku Black from using his scythe to destroy people. You have to really limit on what he could do. Red Dragon Force 2 says on behalf of Darkness King, what if Gohan got immortality on Namek? So if out of all of that, instead of wishing Vegeta for immortality, Gohan gets immortality, you'd have had this little kid going up against Frieza, constantly becoming immortal, and then ultimately through Zenkai, destroy Frieza. This 7-year-old boy. Frieza would never live it down.
And I think those Zenkais could leave a permanent trauma on Gohan. Who
That
knows?
is a downside, definitely.
He may become a body at some point.
Eventually, yeah. Speaking of, another immortality thing from Luis Suazo. What if Vegeta became immortal on Earth? Oh, plain sound. Basically, he probably would have just, like, taken over the planet. Like, he wouldn't have, like, gone back to Frieza. He'd have just taken the planet. Like, he probably would almost invite Frieza to try and come and try him. And stuff like that. He's immortal. He would have ultimately beat Frieza. Sort of similar to my what if Vegeta never turned good thing. And yeah, Red Dragon. Gohan after that, he would just wish for his immortality be removed afterwards.
And yeah, he might, be immortal. Won't be impervious. So probably what would end up happening when Frieza would find out that he is indestructible, he would beat him up to unconsciousness, and he would basically contain him somewhere, freeze him, and destroy it, and get Earth for a free real estate. So it wouldn't end that pretty if you think about it.
It certainly wouldn't. No. Okay, next one is Paparacha. What if Chaozu was female in the Fujoshi? Okay.
I'm sorry, that's a new one.
But admittedly, that would be kind of funny. Like, Chaozu is just this embittered female Fujoshi vampire. Like, that would be funny. Just all this type of thing. Has, like, a hidden manga collection and stuff. And it's just like, oh, man. It would have been funny, but ultimately, it wouldn't really impact the story that much.
Right.
Shadowvic? What if
for the guy?
Yeah. What if Broly went with Goku to Earth? And that's from Shadowvic. Depends which Broly. We've done the original, like, movie 8 Broly so many times, but if it's like the Dragon Ball Super Broly, if Goku was able to kind of contain him and calm him down a bit, I think, like, Broly would have been, like, probably quite mellow.
Still has a tail.
Still has a tail and stuff like that, yeah. But, he'd have probably calmed down a bit, because he would have been, like, less traumatized by being on Vampa and stuff.
Still, we have two Ozarus.
Yeah, we would have two Ozarus. That's a bit of a problem. Jacked out. What if there's a half and half Hera Saiyan? It's like from planet Hera and a Saiyan. Oh, you'd have 2 levels of transformations. So you'd have, like, Super Bardock and then a Super Saiyan. Oh, like, so you'd have a Super Duper Saiyan, basically. Who had an appreciation for
Super Bojack, not Super Bardock. Super Bardock.
Super Bojack, sorry.
Super Bardock. Yay, we can even further.
Yeah. But
marketing.
It would be certainly interesting just to see how that would work. Podo, what if Shenron didn't disappear but instead turned into a dragon maid girl until the Dragon Balls were gathered again? Oh, with Toru. Oh my god. Shenron has a crush on someone and insists, "Hey there, master, why don't you eat my tail? It'll be a sign of bonding." Stuff like that. I love Dragon Maid. I love Dragon Maid so much. It reminds me of Mahoromatic so much. I love it. That series is so cute. I really like it. Like, it reminds me of Mahoromatic. And if you guys liked Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid and you haven't heard of Mahoromatic, then you really should check out that Mahoromatic series. It's so cute. But it's also really tragic. John Coleman. How would Bardock react to World's Strongest Mama? I think he would actually be really aroused by this. Like, seeing this Gine become this, going from this one person that he thought she was to basically being stronger than him, he wouldn't be angry, he'd be impressed. He'd be impressed, and he'd be like, "Oh my god." It's like, "Oh my god, Hardness, I want to burn you!" And stuff like that.
We want a fur baby.
I know, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's a Metal Gear Awesome reference, by the way. So, either Hardness. Craig Twitchell, what if Alucard was in Dragon Ball? He'd be friends with Perfect Cell, so you'd have Tarka voicing both of them. I still love that
Oh
thing in Kai.
yes, they would.
I
they
love that
would
thing
go
in Kai.
on walks.
Like, you know, so hey, are we still doing those Cell versus videos? Nope. Ah, no worries. I love that tease, because everyone wanted Cell versus Alucard.
Yeah.
We were just like, nope. That was funny. Craig Twitchell, what if Dragon Ball took place in Inuyasha? Trunks and Inuyasha would have a fun time. You basically just have, the Tetsaiga. The Tetsaiga versus, like, the Tapion sword. That'd be fun. Like, probably, Trunks learns the Wind Scar. Let's just say that. Maybe. Vukodlak? What if instead of taking credit for beating Cell, Hercule started a religion dedicated to the Golden Savior becoming an ultra-rich televangelist? Oh, man.
Oh, I love this one.
Because I admit, and if I came on the day I went into the ring and I was saved by the Golden Savior.
You know,
And if you just give me 1,000,000 zenny per year, my fellow followers, we might be able to bring back the Golden Savior from his crypt on the day that he sacrificed himself for the good of mankind, and of course made me his disciple in waiting. So you must give me the money before I can give it to our Golden Savior.
Sorry.
as much as we adore this one, it would get demonetized. So sadly,
If we made that into
cannot
a
do that
proper
well.
what if, it'll be a miracle that it doesn't get demonetized here.
Yeah,
But
it's amazing. It's amazing.
It's fun to voice. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to voice, that's for sure. Craig Twitchell, what if 21 replaced Boo? No. Just no.
No.
No, that arc in Fighters was just really bad upon reflection. It's not aged well. It really hasn't. But don't worry. R&R. We've got plans because, what ifs. We are here to change things that we do not like. That's all we'll say. That's all we're going to say. We change things we do not like, but keep it Dragon Ball. But in answer to this question, if 21, Red Dragon says Sophie would really put her foot down on that. We'd have a 10-minute rant from Sophie. A justifiable rant, but it would be a rant nonetheless.
Yeah.
It's a justifiable one.
Yeah.
But if 21 did, then you can imagine there'd be a lot more hijinks. There'd be fan service. Somehow Roshi would be able to actually do some damage and stuff like that. Creep her out. Yeah, what a hentai you are. Oh my god, I'm turning you into candy. Oh my god, you taste rotten. And stuff like that. Ugh. So, yeah.
Nope.
Apple Sours asks, I'd like to see a little weird spin-off show of just Bulma and Launch going on adventures again. Not the most groundbreaking show, but still probably a fun show. It's a travel show. Bulma's basically, Oh, no. You'd have this reality show. Launch is like this kind of person who goes around to different bars and stuff, like Dinos drives in and dives.
Yep.
Yeah.
And kind of does like her Bear Grylls-esque stuff.
And then, and like with Bear Grylls, Bulma has the hotel on site.
Oh my god! Can you imagine that Launch is part of the team of Bear Grylls, who in this world is a literal bear person.
Oh man, I really want that to happen now.
Yeah.
Jacked out. What if future Zamasu had amnesia? Brain check. So basically, if merged Zamasu, he becomes so perfect and divine, he basically forgets his former self.
He became an idiot god like Azathoth, and he became the center of the universe.
Yeah.
And universe will become the dream of an insane Zamasu.
Yeah, either that or basically he basically comes up with this whole idea of like Goku comes up with this idea of basically like when it becomes clear that future Zamasu has no idea or stuff like that, or better yet, if it was fused Zamasu.
Yeah.
So if it were, then Goku could just claim that, oh no, we basically believe in your teachings of this, this, and this. Oh, they're my teachings? Then they must be correct. So basically, they'll just get him to do what he wants, and he just runs with it because he thinks
they make him a God.
Because he
essentially.
believes that he is a benevolent god.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Craig Twitchell, what if the Dragon Team and Rogues Gallery crash the round table? Well, I'll just play the sound, because basically nothing would get done, suffice to say.
Yep.
Insane Australian TJC, what's the name of the original Super Saiyan god? That would be Yamoshi, based on what Toriyama has said. Paparazzi, what if Bill Cipher replaced Boo?
Oh, play the sound.
Wow, the sound's been played a lot lately.
Yeah. I mean, basically, like, they weren't at, at the state of fighting gods. And, Bill Cipher is both a very dark character and he's the worst type of gag character because he's an evil, dark gag character. So, yeah, like, good gag characters are easier to deal with, but evil ones, ugh.
Yeah, they're gag and unpredictable. So that's never good for our heroes.
Yeah.
Luis Suazo, what if King Cold transforms against Future Trunks? Which I'm surprised he didn't do, but the only reason he didn't is because he didn't get a chance.
Yeah.
But if he did, if he went to third form, maybe even final form, he probably would have still... It would have been a closer challenge, but by the time Goku would have arrived, and then he would have been finished off.
To me, like, it's interesting because now when I think about it, this gives implication that if he doesn't felt like transforming, even after seeing how easily, Trunks has dealt with his son, and he decided to check if the secret is the weapon, not the fighter, he still must have felt that he's stronger than Mecha Frieza, which is a really important little
Well, it's
detail.
just delusional, pretty much.
Yeah, might be. Or it's a fact, like, maybe he was.
Maybe. We never really got a true power level for him, so maybe it's either him basically being delusional, thinking he is totally superior, or, his second form genuinely is stronger than final form.
Yeah.
We don't fully know. Well, Asparagus, he does have transformations, because he is in his second form. He's in his second form for a start. And because he believed it to be the most superior form, it looks the most imposing. Like, they talk about that.
Preference.
It's his preference. They talk about that in the Broly movie. That's why, Kikono basically says, why don't you just use your second form like your father did to make yourself look imposing? And then Frieza just says, no, it has to look genuine, and I don't want to use that form.
And imagine that, and it's kind of important that Frieza originally preferred first form and then decided to use his final form.
He realized he liked that even more.
Yeah. As with Frost, right? Frost was also first form, then switched to...
He only used his final form because he killed somebody with it. But maybe he used his final form because he could pretend to be... Like, he could do all that kind of thing and never be recognized. Maybe. Grunner, what if Goku was a troll coup? As in, what if Goku was self-aware enough to play stupidity to mess with people? Oh, who's to say that he doesn't do that already? Who's to say he doesn't do that already, messing with people?
I'm pretty sure he did that with Beerus on one occasion. Like there is an implication. There are some implications that, like, some instances of Goku being stupid in Super, I think they were meant to be troll coup.
But it was not very well written.
Yeah.
It was nowhere near as nuanced as we thought it might have been. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Red Dragon Force 2. I meant all the Saiyans all become gods, like 5 Super Saiyan gods versus God. Oh, okay. So basically, instead of Gohan and stuff like that, so if they all became Super Saiyan gods, it would have been a very interesting way of going about things, but I think Beerus would have accepted the challenge, but we might have seen 100% Beerus, and he probably would have destroyed the Earth out of frustration.
I still don't think he would go 100%. I still think
maybe like 99% or something like
I would say 50.
Well, they said that he was pushed to 70% with Goku.
Oh, okay.
We said that he was at 70%. He'd never been that before.
Okay.
So, I'm saying that he would have gone all out against all 5. Yeah.
I misremember my best. Okay.
Okay. Asparagus, what if the gang entered the 24th Tenkaichi Budokai? Well, I think Goku would have won. because Vegeta wouldn't have entered it because, you know, frivolous.
Yeah.
Goku would have just won again.
And they wouldn't have that friendly familiarity with Mr. Satan, so
Yeah, exactly.
was
He'd have
like,
just been another fighter.
yeah, he would be an annoying, arrogant fighter, and he wouldn't get like those redeeming qualities that he got after.
Yeah, unfortunately, it would have just been that kind of like, it would have been detrimental for his character development.
Yeah.
Alright, Stephen Baker. What if Krillin strategically used the Solar Flare and Destructor Disc as a combo move? I'm surprised he didn't do that. But then again, that would have actually made him really OP for a long time. Because, you know, you used the Solar Flare and Destructo Disc. That would have been really good against Frieza. Like, definitely doing that. But that would... honestly, that would have been too powerful. Because I think Toriyama knew that. Because basically, if he did use that, that would have actually taken out a lot of villains. And I don't think Toriyama would have wanted Krillin to actually be the one to do the stuff.
Yeah.
So he had to write some kind of flaw in to make sure that he couldn't do that.
Inverse controls.
Exactly. There you go. Alpha165. Last question about Elder Scrolls. What if some powerful mages enchanted Goku with 100 magic resistance? And he's going to go and play Skyrim after this.
Moro would have bad time.
Could you care to elaborate?
Well, with magic resistance, you know, like Moro is like, think about it. Like last chapter of the manga, Moro literally, like, Goku has Ultra Instinct and magic resistance. Moro cannot touch him right now. Like, essentially, something that becomes Goku's weakness, like with Superman, magic is no longer his weakness.
Oh.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, I can hear you. I was just going, in agreement.
Yeah, because I was cutting, like you were cutting up from. But basically, that's what would happen. Like, the stakes would be even less impressive, and it would be even harder to devise a cool enemy for Goku, you know? Because Goku would be, with Ultra Instinct, he'd be super agile, he will have magic resistance, he's already pretty tough, so how do you give this guy a challenge, you know, anymore?
Yeah, basically just like, sorry about that. Yeah, but yeah, it's just something really interesting and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Insane basically elaborates, I really meant around the time Bulma fell pregnant. Oh, with his sowing the seeds. Well, that would have certainly made things very awkward with Bulma. Like, Bulma would have kicked Vegeta out of the place. I don't think Vegeta would have had a home in Capsule Corp, that's for sure.
No.
Yeah.
But we would have a lot of kids looking creepily like,
Yeah,
oh, my pride.
it would have certainly been very interesting.
I'm a very proud preschooler.
Yeah, but let's see. Let's see. Heartless Fang. What if Pan and Bulla were part of the initial Super Saiyan God ritual? Double super babies. Well, the thing is, though, is that, like...
Pan was.
Yes.
Very
But
much
Bulla...
was.
I mean, Bulla would have to have been, like... Bulma would have had to know that she was pregnant. And I don't think she would have mentioned it to anybody, because that would have stolen the thunder from her birthday. You know, because it's meant to be all about her. Yeah, she wouldn't want to do it too much time. That's too much attention. But honestly, that would have just been like, oh great, we'd have had the theory of like, oh my god, is Bulma a Super Saiyan? And all that kind of stuff.
Super babies.
Yeah, it reminds me of the bad film Super Babies, with the one where they all talk.
I mean, it still may hold the ground that makes it so great because she took part in the ritual so early. That's an interesting thought.
Yeah,
No?
okay. That would have actually made her a bit more relevant after the whole slapping thing. She would have been doubly eager to like get her revenge on Beerus.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have certainly been something very intriguing.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. We're quite close to the end now. Papa Archer, what if Krillin replaced All Might? Oh man. You'd have had this really imposing guy. You cut to a long shot. He's very short. You know. Yeah, basically even shorter than Midoriya. He'd have been less imposing, that's for sure. But it would have also been really subversive. This little guy could basically destroy continents.
Yeah.
That
And
would have been really
he
funny.
would use the words.
He would have used the what, sorry?
The word scoundrel.
Oh, certainly. Definitely. He would have played
Like
up
people,
to that.
like I love how the biggest confusion of people in R&R episode 5 is, oh, Bardock would never say scoundrel.
Oh.
And I'm like, yeah, like that's the least believable thing here. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, so I think that seems like that. Jesse Goff, what if the Tournament of Power was a double elimination bracket in Mugen? Oh, Mugen, I really need to remind myself of that game.
Yep.
But basically, if it was like a different thing, so it would certainly have made things a bit more interesting, maybe a bit more staggered and stuff like that, but I kind of like the whole free-for-all tournament thing. It would have certainly been a bit more staggered, and the pacing would have been a bit more jarring in a way. So that's something, weird. And then last one, Asparagus. What if Dr. Brief were conscripted into the Freezer Force? Probably only as a way of ensuring that basically if the planet wasn't destroyed, that kind of stuff. But only kind of just like do that kind of stuff. But it would have certainly been for his technology. Because in our Frieza, Dr. Gero and Frieza teamed up thing, Gero's technology was enough to impress Frieza. Can you imagine Capsule Corp's technology?
Yep.
Yeah, so there you go. Okay, alright everybody, we are now done for today. Thank you so much for all of your what if suggestions. They have been absolutely really great, and at this time it really does help support the channel. So I really do appreciate that. So all I can say is just thank you everyone for all of your support. Hope you're all staying safe out there. And we shall see you for our next what if, that is coming up on Saturday, and it's What If Future Gohan Survived Part 6. We're going to the Tournament of Power for this one. So until then, guys, hope you stay well. Thank you very much for joining me, Haverock.
No problem. Pleasure as
And
always.
we shall see you all soon. So take care, everybody. Have a good night. Bye.